Today I'm going to be talking about iDubbbbz once again. If you don't know who iDubbbbz is and what Ollie has done, make sure to check out my series in the playlist section on my channel. It goes over the entire lore of this guy from start of his fall to now. This guy used to be a very powerful YouTuber, very popular YouTuber, and very loved YouTuber, and now has completely fell off the wagon, which reasons I've gone into over the past, and this is just kind of the continuation of that fall. If you like videos on lolcows, internet dramas, and more, make sure to like and subscribe. As I have multiple ongoing series, and I make videos on just those topics as well. Not only just those topics, but a lot of my videos are on those topics. So you can check out the multiple ongoing series I have on this channel in the playlist section as well. Other people I've talked about with their lolcows or internet dramas and stuff like that. There's some other stragglers as well, my recently uploaded, like iDubbbz, like other people I don't have specific series for. I'll probably make a playlist at some point, like about the stragglers of like creeps and, you know, internet dramas and stuff. I'll probably make separate playlists for all of those because I kind of need to at this point. But yeah, there's hours and hours of content for you all to watch if you all needed to maybe distract yourself from the very painful, expensive life of very expensive gas prices or whatever else is going on in your world. And yeah, that's what I'm kind of here for. Whether maybe you need to listen to something at work, I'm there. You know what I mean? I have hours and hours of lore that I go over in a lot of these videos. But to help me out the most in this very, difficult world, make sure to watch the video all the way through and use YouTube's mobile only hype feature on this video, as those are the two ways to help me out the most. Make sure to also follow me on Twitter, is linked in the description below. I try to be a little active on there, but I'm not entirely. So if you're worried that I'm going to fill up your feed, that's not really the case. But with all that said...
Okay, wait. I'm thinking it's your frontal lobe. Boy, the captain's going to earn his paycheck today. Let's go!
Stream Lowlights. Of course, his streams have a lot of lowlights. One of the first ones I'll show here is him talking about Skyler White from Breaking Bad and how it's a political pipeline start. Like, if you don't like Skyler White, it's the start of some pipeline of some sort, and here is that.
Wife?
Lois or Skyler?
Well, strictly from a character standpoint.
He was asking the question, which is a better wife, Lois from Malcolm in the Middle? I didn't know that was her name. And Scott or Skyler.
I know this is easy.
Lois.
Of course, because she loved you. Can I tell you an honest truth? I love Breaking Bad. Obviously, everyone in the whole world loved it. I wanted to kill Skyler to make your life easier. Oh.
These comments are so... They're... Dude. The gritting his teeth and saying it so, like, passionately, that's like... Bro. Number one, it ain't serious. And two, red flag. Like, let's not act like Skyler was the worst person on that show. You can see it in his face. Like, nah, dude. Nah, dude.
Your life would have been so much easier.
Well, let me say...
That as well. Your life would have been so much easier. Like, interpreting...
Many unbearable moments later.
Like, that is such a good response to something like that. I don't think he felt good by the end of that interaction. He low-key told Frankie off. Very much did. In a good way, without even saying much. I think the Skyler hate is the first step down the inceldom pipeline. I agree, Drain Gang. It's easy to do, right? Like, she is... They make a very, like, terrible guy doing terrible things, like the protagonist. And so you're following and you're relating to this guy. You know, even if he's doing terrible stuff, you're still relating to him. And even Frankie Muniz, in that moment, he's saying, look at all, she's not acknowledging all the money he's bringing in. And it's like, yeah, I'm sorry, are you selling crystal, Frankie Muniz? Or do you have a partner who's you'd be cool with that? Like, yeah, all the money in the world. You can have all the money in the world. Does that mean it's a good thing?
You can literally make anything painfully political, and iDubbbbz is the perfect example of this. It's actually insane because most people just don't like Skyler White, even after they watch the entire series, and I think the show is actually supposed to make you not like her, and then later on you see Wall be the bad guy or whatever else, like a lot of people do. Some people change their opinions after watching it for the first time over and see Walt as the bad guy, and then there's others that just simply see Skylar is annoying, and I can't blame them, you know what I mean? Like, she is kind of annoying and everything else, and I just don't understand why he acts like this is such a huge deal. He makes fun of Frankie, gritting his teeth and being passionate about this, and says it's not that serious, but then also makes it this whole pipeline type of deal. So, is it that serious, or is it not? Another painful clip is of him saying that he can't watch a video he's trying to react to because it's not woke.
I can do that.
What the? Okay, no. This is the big post. Okay, I gotta get out of here. This is not woke. What's with the accent, though? Yeah, well, I think he's trying to be, like, Turkish or something.
If he's trying to make a joke, you gotta be more obvious, as, you know, people really do think that iDubbbbz is this dumb that it's hard to tell if he's joking or not anymore, and he's made several references to this in like other sections, which I'll show. But also, the guy was trying to like make an African accent, not a Turkish one, and it's kind of odd to be thinking about a Turkish accent. Felted Imp was also talked about again. Here's that clip.
Do not sub to Felted Imp. He hasn't earned that. Cringe. But thank you, Alice. I appreciate it. Is Felted a troll? A little bit. Yeah, he's a little bit of a troll guy. We got a little cat and mouse dynamic going on, where he says, it pisses me off. I give a very authentic, non-troll response. He gives a response back, saying, oh, I thought we had something. And then I tell him, no, I just trolled you. But parentheses, that was a lie. See, Felted, you're starting to know that I actually have a deep appreciation for anime. I love anime. And I've watched so many that it all gets mixed up. And my life is so crazy that sometimes I confuse the anime for my real life. So you can understand why sometimes I'm not going to remember every little detail. It made me so depressed. It was very depressing.
The guy follows me on Twitter, by the way. We are now mutuals, so that's pretty cool. I'm a little bit more ingrained into the lore, I guess. But to go on, whenever having audio issues, he tells his viewers to just simply deal with it, and that he is not the problem. And here's that.
All right, guys. Let us show the YouTube chat what Wordle is all about. Maybe they'll be good at it. Maybe they'll be smart. Thank you, Fleece Booty Johnson, for the 6 months. Legend. Bro, the couch in the background is drip. You think so? I got it for $50 and it's got stains all over it. I got so much louder. Oh, no. Oh, no. What did I do to get louder? 1 second. I'm going to go back to the other and see if I can find a difference. Dabba dabba doo boo doo. Loo doo boo. Dabba dabba loo boo doo. Doo boo doo boo la boo doo. La boo da boo doo boo doo. Dee bee da boo doo. It looks the same to me, but I don't know. Okay, I'm going to switch it while maintaining a tone, okay? Sounds better in mobile. That doesn't help me. You looking for something? Okay. You go up by like 10 decibels? Dude. Oh, wait. It says 1 hidden. What does that mean? Oh, no. That's my DSLR. Let me look at filters. Here it shows it as 12 decibel increase. Here, it also shows 12. It should be the same, though. It should be a global mic. So what's the deal? Noise suppression, noise gate limiter. Everything's the same. It's fine for this. I'm showing OCD. Don't fret too much. Thank you. I needed that. Because you're stressing me out. I'm here. I'm doing my YouTube stream, and you're like, yeah, you should focus on this thing. Okay. Here we go, guys. You guys know Wordle, surely.
This is something DSP and LolCal Live would do, except that he would literally, DSP and LolCal Live both, would just insult their audience for this issue, or LolCal Live would make it a 30-minute problem. The audio issues are apparently something that has been going on for at least a month now, as a Redditor commented on this. Another interesting part is he mentioned the Shadow Realm thing about his Twitch chatters before, but I didn't know this was an actual setting you can put on Twitch. It's kind of interesting and also kind of stupid, but what's even more stupid is that he, despite banning these people basically from chat, still reacts and talks in response to these people.
Someone in the, there's 2 people in the Shadow Realm right now, by the way, guys. 10 Junes and Matthias Goldberg. Matthias says, horror game you can add a lot with personality like PewDiePie did. Rocket League is a competitive game and is the same every time. Yeah, very true. Preach.
So what is the point of banning these guys whenever you're still giving them the attention? Especially because this Shadow Realm thing just does not really work out at all. Because the streamer is still having to see these things that they were originally banning that they didn't have to see anymore. You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense. He says he is now going to be streaming less, but to make the streams that he does be a bit better, like better quality-wise, and also wants to focus on making more videos. And here's that clip.
I'm parasocial now? Well, I'll tell you what. I am going to be streaming less, but my intention is for the streams to be better. So you can use that extra free time now to get more work done, maybe. But then it's going to be even more epic when I stream. Does that mean no 90 day? No, we're going to be watching. I mean, I'm still going to be streaming. You know, I just need to make more videos is my problem. By the way, it was fun, dude. I recorded a Kickstarter crap video. I think I'm gonna keep making them because it was actually fun to record. I was like, okay, I dig this, and it was easy. I wasn't like, all right, I need to craft a whole thing. Yo, Andrew, GVN.
90-day fiance.
Dude, this guy makes me want to go on a cruise ship.
This is something lolcows would say, to be honest. I don't think this will actually change anything streaming-wise. This is something, again, that DSP would say. A lot of people compare him to DSP, but whenever you think about it, yeah, DSP would really be doing these things. He would say something like this. To go on, I don't think Ian will upload more because of him, you know, not like streaming as often. Pedocynical said the same exact thing about his second channel and streaming in general, and we see where that got him. This whole cringe segment, spazzing over dubstep, I think this was supposed to be like a certain bit, but there's like 2-3 minutes of this clip, and it's this is what people think they need to throw 5, 6, 7 see what I did there, dollars at this guy for. Their own hard-earned money, which half of these guys are probably on either unemployment or disability, which is a thing that most lolcows get their money from. People like DSP and other lolcows mainly get their money from also mentally delayed people. He also now has these certain segments like Debate Tuesday, where he debates his audience on random topics, Music Monday, Spooky Sunday, Reality Saturday, where he reacts to stuff. And which is basically something DSP does as well, funny enough. He does like, what, Fight Night Fridays or something like that? Is something that DSP does. I think he has some other things as well. He has like a focus of his like AI-made trash music. Either way, other than that, there are some other moments on stream that are also hard to watch that, they just kind of explain themselves. I don't want to comment over, but here are those.
I'm making this argument from a Western standpoint, all right? Yeah, maybe if we were in like India or something, your argument would hold water. But in the West, your argument holds no water. Your boat is flooding with water. Also, you smell like... A vote for possum is a vote for freedom? Okay, I guess it won. I guess Possum won that debate. Congratulations. It's a game over for me. But if someone else wants to give it a shot, the floor is yours. She's El Salvadorian, bro? I'm gonna look that up, because if you're wrong, then I'll know you're a troll, and I'll keep you in the shadow realm. Where is Penelope Cruz from? She's a Spanish actress, so you just lied to me. Madrid. Bro, you're an idiot. You're more of an idiot than me. No, you're not an idiot. You're an intentional, what do you call it? It's got a name. Yo, what up, Seabird? Intentional, a bad actor, a lib. How many people are in the Shadow Realm? We have not done the math yet. Yeah. Oh, that's a good question. And you have that on the ready. I mean, probably like 11:30-ish. Yeah, or could happen anytime before that. I'll just pause the stream for that. Okay. I'm gonna shut you. That's a good idea. Come here, blonde butt. How about, is there like a Mexican game that's called Mexican? We should type in different ethnicities into GameDull to see what comes up. Russian? You can twerk? Yeah, maybe.
It's always Sky and Skylar.
Well, she's like, she's young. She's 19, so she just wants to, she probably just wants to have a good time and party and enjoy her youth.
I want you to sing more than twerk.
I didn't know you were gonna get up there and start doing the most.
Oh, I was trying to hype you up.
Okay, so twerking is like the backup. Well, I guess when the singing's, then the twerking takes the spotlight. You know what I mean? Like, if you're, I feel like you twerk when everything else is like failing. Like, twerking is the like emergency button where it's like, oh, it doesn't seem like anyone's entertained. All right, I'm gonna twerk. Twerking is fun. No, I believe it. I just know that it's powerful. There's a lot of responsibility in twerking. Like, honestly, if you're scared of like bombing doing like stand up, it would be great if you worked on twerking. So if you're starting to bomb, you just turn around, clap your cheeks. I actually think that would work. I don't think people would necessarily laugh, but they'd be like, all right, get it, get it. Of course, Bird would show up today. Hey, iDubbbz, just thought I'd stop by and let you know that I've gotten to 52 attack and 57 strength, which means I'm only 23 levels between the two away from entering the Warriors Guild and starting the grind for a Dragon Defender. I thought you might like this old school RuneScape update. Hey man, I'm gonna be honest, I think you're wasting your time. It feels like every post about old school RuneScape is essentially the same thing. I think it's time to do some self-reflecting and realize that, you know, grinding from 1 to 60 in levels is basically the same as grinding to a certain stat line to get into this next tier of thing that only the people with, you know, a bunch of free time are able to achieve. It's just like, who has the most time to sink into this? And it's not, it's an achievement. I'm not going to take that away from you, but it might not. Dragon Defender gives a really good strength bonus though. Yeah, but you've basically beaten the game. You've done everything that you can in old school RuneScape. Is that a clickbait title? I don't follow much about Ethan anymore because everything about him and his goons creep me out. Well, it's a little bit clickbait, but it's also potentially true. We'll see how things progress. It seems like he's keen to do it, but wait, what? Not true. He mentioned nothing. What? What are you talking about, Shampoo Man? What's your favorite genre of music? Right now, I can't stop listening to foreign tunes, specifically German tunes. German tunes that make me go, I didn't think I would ever like that. I really didn't, because when I was younger, I don't know, it like a thing in my brain switched like a month and a half ago. I don't know what. Oh, he has sent us a cease and desist. Yes, lawyers have been in contact with us. That we can say. That we can say. Yeah. It's like, oh. Y'all are the biggest stereotypes ever.
I think iDubbbbz could have done halfway good with the twerking part, because he was kind of making sense at a point, but he just is so hated that he doesn't get away with any slip-ups or trying to be funny at all on stream. Like, if he's not funny at all, then no one's going to throw him the bone. Like, he has to actually do something funny. And the last time I gave him credit, I think was for one segment, the looks maxing segment, which I gave him half credit for in his AI toy video. And then the other time I gave him credit was for the thank you, like where he's like doing the thank you, like that was actually funny. I'm not gonna lie, I laughed at that when I first saw it, and I still laugh at it now. I think it's actually hilarious, but I think he's more of a video person. This is something that people have said in the past. It's obvious that he is more made for videos than the live streaming universe, as he can plan stuff out, write something better, edit it, or practice lines to where, you know, it actually hits better. But at the same time, his recent videos have shown that he can't really do good at that anymore either. So maybe he's just not meant for the internet anymore, which is something, you know, of course, everyone's been saying. I don't know if there's been many big YouTubers or lolcows retire, but he could be the first, and honestly, probably should be. iDubbbbz failed YouTube streaming. Ian attempted to stream on YouTube like he originally talked about a month or two ago in one of my last videos. I showed some clips that came out of it in the previous segments, but this is one just going over specifically the YouTube streaming into more detail. To start, he said at the beginning that he was going to respond to all donations every hour.
Oh, thank you guys so much for the top chats and all that. Let me read these. I'll probably read them every hour. Love you, Ian. Thank you, Jack DeMac. Hey, Ian, bad unboxing fan mail, please. Yeah, I've been thinking about doing that. We're definitely bringing back Kickstarter crap. Do you miss, or do miss old YouTube? Nah, not really, dude. We're woke now.
This is something that no one, I think literally no other streamer does, or even should do. These people are giving you their money that they most, like 50-50 chance they are working for, or at least just their own money, and you're making them wait for a response, especially whenever sometimes the donations will be, at least in most streams, they'll be about a certain event going on at that exact moment, that you're supposed to read that thing and then react to it, you know, on time. But now he's going to make these people wait an hour? That's so weird to me. That is very cringe and seems more of like a scam, because knowing Ian, how lazy he is, he most likely will forget. Most likely these people are not staying in stream for an hour or longer. You know what I mean? So what is the real point of being a fan of an iDubbbbz stream if he's not even going to read your donation on time? I'm guessing Ian was probably thinking this would be a huge hit and change everything, but it was definitely not, despite being on his main platform, by the way, because YouTube's his main platform, don't forget that. He's on his main channel, his main platform, and has over 6.5 million subscribers, which is getting closer to below that, but he still did not succeed. And to watch the YouTube VODs, you have to pay $6.99 for the membership over there. So he's forcing you to become a member over there. But I'm pretty sure this is a dual stream though, and not just on one platform, but still. It's just kind of weird, especially considering what I'm about to say. But his streams and the VODs, you know, there is no rewatchability with these unless you are a clipper, unless it's about a certain drama or whatever it may be. That's the only people that truly really benefit from going back in VODs. Unless you are truly that desperate or you're that mentally behind that you will listen to, or maybe you're just a masochist, you know what I mean? There's not really many reasons to watch back these streams. They're very boring. They are very unentertaining. These are the highlights. I am showing you all highlights of these streams from a month's time. That is bad. I know that there's plenty of other streamers that get loads. Even Asmongold, which is someone that, I don't exactly, I agree with him sometimes regarding, dramas on other YouTubers. But this is someone that, and of course I criticize him as well for his hygiene, of course. I'm not, completely biased or one-sided, but people Asmongold and others, and Moist Critical, I guess you can add him in here, are people that get videos every single day, basically, multiple times a day, sometimes as well, from their streams. But Ian can't get anything out of these, and no one really can. So what is the point of paying for a subscription, because you have to do this on Twitch as well? What is the point? And after one stream, he decides, quote, he needs time to figure it out.
We're not on YouTube today? No. I decided I need to figure that one out. YouTube, that is. But we are Silent Hilling. How'd that go? I was at work. It was good. There was a lot of, I mean, it was kind of what I expected. There's a lot of people on YouTube who are just not on Twitch. It's one or the other. Which is good. I think it makes sense to stream if I'm hitting, you know, if I'm getting different people.
I have no idea what he's talking about or expecting to, like, out of nowhere change regarding YouTube live streaming, because it's streaming. Just stream. It's that simple. Make title interesting. Make thumbnail interesting. Or don't. Be like Wings or whoever else that has like the same exact thumbnail over and over again. Like, it's just like he's overthinking it. He's just lazy and he doesn't want to do it. He's afraid of the chat because the chat is completely full of unbanned people that are going to go and either unsubscribe to him immediately, which I'll talk about later, and, you know, stuff around that. And some strong soul out there really made notes of this YouTube stream as well, which I want to talk about. It's from Reza Saradon Guard 179 saying, notes I made from stream if anybody is interested. I'm going to be reading these. Just recorded most of what he said and did during the stream to see if there would be anything vaguely interesting. Missed the first 15 minutes because I was busy doing something else. I don't know what was said then. The chat was in sub-only mode. He hovered around 300 viewers on YouTube for a while before slowly dropping to just above 200. There were occasionally YouTube comments referring to the low view count. I didn't check Twitch because I wasn't going to sit through a stupid long Twitch ad. His low energy on last Cold One's appearance was because of a panic attack. Then I mean just delay, you know, the moment. I mean, if you're not going to perform well and you're going to be low energy around friends that in a collab that could really help you, then maybe you sit there for a moment and breathe, or, you know, delay a day or two, whatever it has to be. Like, you don't have to go on immediately, you know what I mean? Very dumb of them to go on after a panic attack. And also, I feel like this is a coping excuse. A vague Sam Hyde reference where he talked about learning to stick drive in Polaris. Worth noting that I didn't catch him making any references to Ian. Plans to release new Save the Scrolls video on the second channel on Monday. 3 of them to be released. He wants the next main channel video to be a Kickstarter crap, partially because of the AI slop on there. He hasn't been focused on the quote grind making videos, but says he's open to doing more documentaries. I don't think anyone's going to really give him the opportunity to do documentaries, though. Who would even do one on at this point that would actually accept it and be cool with it? It'd have to be like someone that's really boring, too. But, I mean, the documentaries were like the last big popular thing that he made, and it's actually one of the more popular videos on his channel. Started messing with the AI box 20 minutes in, which I think was in the title of the thing anyway. Tried to do Donald Trump and Charlie Kirk covered in gravy stains, reference to them both getting shot, very empathetic. True, he did that also on the video as well, which, you know, can be seen as funny, but at the same time, possibly bannable. First off-screen Anisa, I heard, said to do grog after iDubbbz tried to do a Cold Runs reference. Tried to do Rhett and Link eating a hot dog. This was from his first YouTube dono, by the way. He wants to box again and is gaining weight to be in the heavyweight division, currently at 190. He's not going to do good in the heavyweight division. There's people that are absolutely huge and monsters in the heavyweight division. See that a commenter who preferred when he was, quote, an alpha. Also see that someone who didn't respect him because Anisa treats him like dirt. He cut out a segment from his last video about Mr. Beast. The AI box kept portraying him as, quote, an Arab man, apparently. Showed off a bottle of Tom Ford cologne that he claimed was his and actually sprayed it on himself. He claimed the cross in the background is to attract Christian viewers, which is wrong and won't work. He said that Anisa spends her time cooking and gardening while he is woodworking and LARPing. He has started attending woodworking classes so he can eventually build a World of Warcraft arcade cabinet, but not for a potential future job. These guys are always doing like some weird class of some sort all the time. Just random nonsense. He said he is still friends with Max and Chad, but cannot hang out or talk much due to the time difference. Anisa showed off an iguana named Phoebe and got it to eat a cricket on camera. Was asked about Joji. He said Joji went to Creator Clash too, but they didn't really talk. So it sounds like they don't really talk at all. Set up a regular YouTube chat message inviting people to become mods, which he stressed would be volunteer, not paid, just like Hassan. I think Hassan actually pays his people, to be honest, but he said he will do dumb VTuber dragon thing again at some point. We'll get more into that later. Summer streams may be nighttime as he'll be busy outside touching grass. We'll see about that. He then subjected us to Wordle, cue multiple Clest references in the YouTube chat. Around this time, he got distracted because he thought he'd messed up the volume. He hadn't. He said he would show why he is called King of Connections. He didn't, and chat got the reference long before he did. He won't do meet and greets, but is happy to say hello to random people. Faistal, I don't know what that's exactly supposed to say or mean. He played a fart noise clip to a YouTube commenter who got the answer. And then Global, admittedly he wasn't as bad as Hassan trying to find Yemen. He seized at a YouTube commenter who said to guess Israel. So he did Palestine instead in retaliation, even though it didn't help him. And then in Game Duel, are these just different games like that all have like the same endings? This is kind of annoying. He got it on last guess with chat's help, much like DSP needs help with his chat. Subreddit got a shout out. iDubbbz claimed he doesn't read here. And then Scrandle, he has a self-pinned Scrandle song, which I don't know what this means, which he sang. He was at his most rambling during this, so I started refining these notes. I don't know if I missed something here. He isn't looking forward to getting older as he'll have to start having prostate checks. And then a color guessing game alternated between muttering at the game and mutely staring at his chat. Fairly decent at it though. And then Bandle got the answer. He watched the Connected Rolling Stones music video. He wasn't impressed by them. Saturday will be Twitch only because he'll be watching 90 Day Fiancé. He's planning to do multi-stream again on Sunday, and before anyone asks, no, I'll not be watching it. I'll have to find someone else to do this. Dude quit after day one, I can't blame him. Some of these things that were said could kind of probably relate to his actual Twitch live streams as well. This was just a dual live stream after all.
No iDubbbz April has really taken its toll on the Jamha household. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like things are really tough out there. So iDubbbz was so desperate. I told you guys this briefly during an aside during the Friday show. iDubbbz went live on YouTube, expecting there to be thousands, if not tens of thousands of live viewers. He went live on a 7 million subscriber channel, and he only got like 185 viewers.
Oh my god!
You know, he barely did better than he does on Twitch. He tried to make the stream members only and put it behind a paywall. No one would pay for it. Then he deleted the stream. Then he came out and said that he would no longer be streaming on YouTube. It wasn't viable. Then he came out today and admitted that he just can't stream 5 days a week anymore. He's only going to stream 3 days a week now, guys, and he's gonna focus on making YouTube videos or whatever. And then Anisa came out, and Anisa was upset at the idea of no Jamha May, which we hadn't even announced yet. It was no iDubbbz April.
We hinted at it. We hinted at it. We
hinted at a no Jamha May, and Anisa was upset. She's like, they've made over 100 videos on us, and now we're too boring. Yes. Sorry. You've been beaten into powder. Like there's no point anymore. You have no viewers, you have no money, you have nothing. We're only helping you by covering your antics, which are mostly fake shenanigans and rage bait at this point anyway, and it's super boring. So you guys need to step it up and find some way to get us invested in Nicholas Dorio and others and making fun of you. Or else no iDubbbz April might become no Jamha May, might become no Jamha 2026, no Jamha forever. Jamha, go find a job now. Like, I don't know what to say. Like,
Yo.
You guys are done. iDubbbbz has basically already got his own comeuppance, and he basically did it to himself.
Yeah.
Whereas Jer still needs his comeuppance.
Yeah.
Jer still needs to be felt, and it's fresh.
He needs to be
It's
homeless.
new. Whereas with the Jamas, it's like, even a few years ago, like it was running on fumes, you know, and we like we resurrected them from grave of after Crater Clash 2. Like after everybody felted them after Crater Clash 2, they were done. Then we like turned them into something new by going over every episode of She Ruined My Career because no one had done that yet because it was so boring and bad. Then we all like locked into the Miracle arc where they did Crater Clash 3 and Snake Ethan Klein. Somehow we were like ahead of the curve on this. Like we somehow have a sense
us out.
for when these are going to go nuclear and lose
We're like
their
dogs
minds
before someone dies.
Yeah.
We're like
Yeah.
dogs
You
right
can
before
you
like
can
the
sense
dog.
it. And then with Hambly, it's the same thing. And so I don't know. They're like yesterday's news, yesterday's man. I have a segment prepared to talk about them on Friday, but I don't even know. Like past that, they may just be out of luck because even like I miss the old iDubbbbz is having trouble. Like fucking felt it.
They
Only
agree with us. They're like, yeah, it's a good thing they're taking a break. Like even the A-logs are like, you know what? This is good.
iDubbbbz reacts to Crime's new Roman video. Ian reacted to a video I talked about not too long ago by a person by the name of Crime's New Roman. I think their government name is Noah. But this dude basically makes a video saying that all of the commentary YouTubers, or more so slop tubers, are a start to a pipeline that makes people do violent mass acts, like, you know, around schools and stuff like that. He uses Turkey Tom, or blames Turkey Tom, the most in this video for a school tragedy that happened. All while Ian has been mentioned in at least 2 tragedies now. With, of course, the iDubbbbz comment, which I think I talked about in a iDubbbbz video, and then also talked about in that Crime's New Roman video, which, you know, go check that out if you haven't already. I think that if you like videos like this on iDubbbbz, then you're also going to like that video as well, because he's mentioned in it a little bit, and it's also just a YouTube drama that's very, very dumb. Me breaking down a video on someone that is very, very wrong in a lot of ways, and could have had a good video, but overall just failed in too many ways for it to really be legitimate. He also tried to say that a bunch of YouTubers having the same opinion is a, quote, huge machine, or something around that, to start a pipeline. Like, that's basically what he said. It was like everyone had these, like, all these same views, and they were forced to have these same views to start a sort of radicalization. Like, these people want violence to actually happen towards anyone. I called it out that, you know, the only people that have called for violence are people like Hassan and like Ian, and he calls out people that have said that they denounce that, and they don't support that, and they obviously can't. The only people that have gotten away with calling for violence is Hassan, is Ian, and some of the other orbiters of Hassan, and some people outside of that, such as Destiny. Make sure to go watch that video. It's titled Crime's New Roman is Extremely Wrong, or something around that, and it goes into better detail than I could or would in this segment alone, without going into, like, full details. It is actually insane, and if you like my videos, like I said, on Ian, then you probably like that one as well. But to go on, here's the clip of him talking about the video.
YouTube streaming is going to be on Friday. Oh, we're going to be watching that video from that guy, Crime's New Roman. It was an awesome video. I only watched, like, I don't know, 30 minutes of it. It's 2 hours. I mean, for me personally, like, you know, very validating, because a lot of the stuff, a lot of the you know, the slop tuber communities I am, you know, kind of part of, and or at least adjacent to. You know, they're communities that normal people do not want to even poke their head into. But he does that fully in this video, where he looks at it and, yeah, has a lot of interesting takes. So we'll watch that together. Are you going to use iDubbbbz streams or iDubbbbz TV? I was thinking iDubbbbz TV. That way, people who have subscribed to my YouTube channel just for general benefit get those benefits. You know what I mean? That way it's a little bit easier and it's all in the same place. I'll have to look into it because I don't know what the details of YouTube live streaming are. Can't wait to fight people in YouTube chat. It'll be an interesting place. But we're going to moderate it kind of the same way we do in Twitch chat. So ultimately, it's going to be the same kind of deal. It just might be new faces.
There was no clips of his reaction to the video that I've seen, so that's all I have for this segment. But saying, quote, it's an awesome video, all the other compliments and assessments of the video, after only watching 30 minutes of it, the first 30 minutes, whenever it's a 2-hour-long video, is very strange to do and very fake as well. It's basically a fake review. It is, like, no better than most IGN reviews. A part of me feels like they are lying about a lot of their media consumption, like Ian and Anisa specifically, because how do you not finish the video unless your attention span is so fried, which is a very possible case in this situation, or if the video is so bad and boring that you can't finish it, which is also a, possibility. If that second option is true, then Ian would technically be a poser. He can't be that second option. He can't be a poser because these two guys are buddy-buddy, apparently. As you know, Crimes New Roman made a whole love letter to iDubbbbz in the past, talking about how, oh, people are so weird for talking about Ian and Anisa's public online relationship that they shove everywhere. And what makes him seem more like a poser, especially because in the comments of that video, he said the video deserved 5 big booms and all this other stuff, and complimented it there, and he got pinned for it. But whenever a YouTuber I really enjoy uploads a video, I actually sit there and watch the whole entire thing. There is like 90% of the time, right? What happens to the other 10% of the time? I have other things to do. I have a video to make. I have other stuff, other obligations I have to commit to. I have to go to bed. I mean, it's stuff like that. Ian has all the time in the world. Ian does nothing else. Okay? He has one, quote, job, which is being a YouTuber, which he barely is at this point, and being a streamer, which he is failing and doing terribly at, and also is not live for. If you wanted to watch this on live stream, then you should have done it and not watch the first 30 minutes of it. You know what I mean? I don't get... Unless you were trying to, like, make sure everything's okay, which I don't see how this dude would switch up in months unless you did something terribly wrong, which of course he has, but this guy's too much of a buddy-buddy, you know what I mean? It just made no sense here at all. So I think that Ian, there's a little bit of him lying and possibly being a poser of this alt-left pipeline, I guess you could say. And the thing is, too, is that if I knew I was featured in a video, or at least deemed controversial, and, was talked about in a video, I would definitely watch the entire thing, too. But to be fair, it's Ian. He doesn't care about actual true details or being truthful at all, as he spreads false allegations all the time and fake news, for lack of a better term, which I get more into in a little bit. iDubbbbz's new video. Ian on stream talks about how his last video didn't perform well because people were talking about it a lot in the comments.
This is crazy. I think the algorithm is working against you right now. It probably is, but I don't know. It'll feel that much better when I start uploading more regularly, and eventually, when people who haven't seen eventually get it delivered, they'll have more videos to go and watch. There's not really, I don't like focusing on the algorithm working against me or any of that kind of, because it's not helpful. It doesn't really there's no solution. It's like, okay, I'll dive into YouTube today and start tinkering with things.
I think Ian uploading more often would heavily degrade the content. Also, he doesn't think at all about what would affect the video's performance at all. It's just, oh, algorithm no like me, dude. I don't know what's going on. Instead of how you told people who don't agree with you that you want to be violent towards them and support violent acts towards them, and how you also openly said that you don't want people to watch you if they don't agree with your opinions. I mean, it's as simple as that. Or, how long it takes to make a mid-tier video. You know, like this scale of like hot and crazy on a woman? There's also a chart like that with video time of like how long it takes to upload and the quality. And if those two things don't match, then your video's not going to do good. Ian is not one of those people, especially now after, you know, controversy after controversy, that can actually get away with making a mid-tier video after several months of not uploading. I think what, it was getting closer to 6 months, if it wasn't 6 months already, before he made a very mid AI toy video where, of course, like, I mean, I don't know, like the title as well of the video changed like once or twice. The thumbnail was fine. It wasn't the most eye-catching, don't get me wrong, but still. People are also calling out how his Twitch streams are not doing good anymore, as at one point he had less than 100 viewers on his Twitch stream while being live for what looks to be half an hour. Hate watchers are honestly getting tired of him. I mean, people have been talking about in the comments of Reddit posts that they got iDubbbbz fatigue. They are tired of iDubbbbz. They don't want to watch him anymore. They started to tune out. The only people who want to stay are probably clippers who can attempt to make money off of, you know, him being stupid every time. You know what I mean? And make these Reddit posts and make YouTube videos. Like that one guy. Shout out that one guy. I forget his name. His like watermark is shown on the screen a lot. I forget exactly what his name is, so I don't want to mess it up, but shout out to him for sure. And all the other clippers as well, because without them, these videos would probably not be made and not be possible, because I'm not sitting through hours of these people. There's no way I could watch an entire iDubbbbz live stream without putting... I can't say what I was about to say. But there is no other reason for people to stay other than people that could possibly profit off of it, or if you are so behind in a lot of ways mentally that you think this is entertaining. And also, there's people that, of course, are like Match Assist. There's people that watch very boring lolcows in the first place, like Wings of Redemption and a DSP. You know what I mean? So, I mean, there's people that will watch this content either way and also support it, which is very strange. An old clip of Anthony Padilla, the guy from Smosh, and his interview with Ian came up again, and here's that clip.
Can you believe that you're one of the most controversial figures I've ever had on this show?
Yeah, I believe that. I mean, you've had furries.
I've had Mia Khalifa, Flat Earthers. I think you might be more controversial than Flat Earthers.
That could be.
Why are you so controversial?
Ah, man. I think it's like a lot of unregulated confidence.
You have unregulated confidence?
Yeah, I think I have in the past. I've toned it down a bit. You gotta pick and choose what you're confident about, right?
Both poorly aged and untrue, by the way. But he's actually uploaded on his second channel a new Save the Scrolls video like I talked about earlier. And this is a series I never liked. I never thought it was entertaining or funny, even whenever he uploaded it. I think he used to upload it on his main channel, but I don't exactly remember. But I think this was like the first signs of his downfall, although I think this was a few years into it, like his slow fade and then to his fall. But these videos are useless and boring. There is nothing that comes out of these videos that is entertaining at all. He talks about how he has 3 videos ready, and here's that clip.
Hey Ian, you've done any Save the Squirrel activities off screen since last? Man, so many people are very into the squirrel updates. Yes, absolutely. I have 3 Save the Squirrel videos queued up. Just notice the couch paw? Yes, Millie Panda. Let me show you how much you sink into. I look like a little baby. It makes this room honestly look small from this perspective, but when I'm gonna turn into a little person when I go over there.
This isn't exactly real. I don't think there's any way that this is possible with how little of effort and work ethic this dude has that he actually got these done. I don't believe him at all. He can't even edit the simplest videos, and Ian's videos are less work than mine. Ian's videos probably don't take much time at all to make, to be 100% honest. He talked about how people were liking the video, like, oh, people are loving the squirrel video, but in reality, here are the comments. Shout out to Chip Kip Ling. He says, here's the general consensus on the squirrel video. Now we get to watch the subs tank on his second channel too. And it's basically a bunch of people saying, oh, I forgot I was subscribed here. And, oh, everyone forgot they were subscribed, huh? Oh, thank you for reminding me I was subscribed so I can unsub. You know, stuff like that. And that's basically all. I've never unsubbed quicker. You know, people like that. And honestly, he already lost 10,000 subscribers the first day of the video being uploaded on his second channel that only has like 2.2 million subscribers. I say just only, but it's Ian we're talking about, so I guess I can say only here. Other than that, he talked about how he was making a Kickstarter crap video, which is a video that's kind of harder to mess up compared to others. Still hasn't uploaded the bad unboxing video he was supposed to do a while back whenever I got banned from his Discord server. And I said absolutely nothing, by the way. I said 0 things and never planned to say anything, and he still banned me. He banned me before I could even get into the server to chat once. Like, in literal minutes. So this video could also possibly never happen, just like the last one did, but I think it's out now, and I'll just talk about it in my next video, because I'm trying to get this video out as soon as possible, and at least there'll be something to talk about next month. Anisa quit streaming. This segment, of course, is going to talk about the title of the segment, but I want to first go through some other random side stuff that she's been doing recently. She's been doing some weird, like, side projects, some art pieces, and I'll show, like, something else later on that will show that she's working on other stuff as well. But she's working on, like, glass, like, cut glass. She said, "I learned to cut glass, grind, foil, and solder. I'm so proud. Tulip was my second go, and I think I already improved a lot, especially with the soldering. Stained glass class done." Like this guy calls out, shout out to MikeFan19 saying, "Great, another pointless obsession from Anisa. Literally every hobby but getting a normal job, LMAO. The boot does look good, the Tulip does not, to be honest. I don't really like it that much, if I'm going to be 100 here. But yeah, it's like anything but getting an actual job. They did talk about doing trades. Apparently, Ian has also been doing useless classes as well. Kazuwashi saying, "Seats 8 people in the hypothetical chairs. They're poor." Saying, "Finally, I found a dining table that fits my vibe. Seats up to 8 people and was totally worth the search. Which I guess she actually added that at the end. "How is a person supposed to imagine the rest of the table with this camera angle?" Which is obviously true. I don't know what's going on here where she's like, "Guys, look at the table," but the table is 10%, less than 10% even, of the screen. You can barely see it in this picture. And it just looks like a simple table. I mean, it does not look complex at all. I don't know what she was attempting to do here, because she already shown off everything else. She could have made a separate picture being like, "Hey guys, look at the whole house setup here." She also has had some weird TMI moments, and they post saying, "Okay, I like the comments for once." Quote by Miss Unbothered by Haters Anisa, because she posted, of course, another X-rated content moment, which I had to cut and crop. And as you can see in the background of the second picture, before I actually read the text, you can see that she has like a little art thing set up right here, like a little paint setup thing, I'm pretty sure is what that is in the background, being more performative, showing off another useless side gig. And we'll talk about the X-rated content a little bit later, but someone says, "Bruh, iDubbbbz liked the post," talking about the post of her showing off herself, saying, "This person is shocked by my loving husband, who I've been with for 10 years, likes my badonkadonk enough to hit the, quote, like button online. Wait until you hear what he does IRL." To be honest, I think she is absolutely coping here. Because I don't, like, do you look at Ian and really think, yeah, this dude really beats it up? Honestly, do you look at Ian and think that he's a freaky person? Do you think he really gets down to it? Like, I don't think this guy has good sex at all. I think someone else has to, this is probably why he has to sit in the chairs, because he just sucks at it. I couldn't imagine eating it. I couldn't imagine him actually doing anything proper in the bedroom. I'm just saying. I think that he sucks at it so bad. And she tries to say, like, "Oh yeah, he pleasures me," and stuff in multiple other clips in the past, but I don't think he does. I doubt he does. You wouldn't act like the way that she does if you were getting properly, piped down. You would be calm, you'd be a good woman, but you're all the time angry doing stupid stuff online. And also another fact by MikeFan19, he says, even on her new account, because she made a new account just for her X-rated content, he says she still follows Chris Ray Gun, which is insane to me. Following Chris Ray Gun on the X-rated account. I wonder if he followed her back. I didn't check this. Dude, it is actually insane. Of course, she probably follows Anisa, or not Anisa, but she probably follows Ian. But still, to follow Chris Ray Gun on the Spicy account, bro, he's gotta be getting something. Man, she's sending them disappearing messages, you know what I mean? They're, like, this is suspicious, to say the least. Because on the Spicy account, you're following a dude that don't do nothing spicy? This ain't no networking following, you know what I mean? Like a lot of other women would do. Another X-rated moment is from Chode Breath Dwarf. Insane name, by the way, kind of funny. saying Anisa, who recently booked flights to LA to mourn the loss of her friend's cat, is now hoeing out in her living room whilst Ian freezes to death alone in Canada. Showing that she is doing a succubus look, which is kind of weird to dress up as the devil in my opinion. I don't know, like I've said that, I don't know, we'll talk more about her later in certain manners, but you know, she says it's succubus summer, being X-rated in someone else's living room while Ian is freezing. It's kind of funny because he didn't go at all, which is weird. Maybe they didn't have the money, I don't know. Which is another thing too, is that they do these classes and people are very concerned about their financials, but they keep doing these small stupid classes. And if they weren't in such controversy, I'd probably like applaud them. I'd applaud a lot of other people for doing outside activities and stuff, but in their situation, it's not exactly valid right now. And in one of her live streams, she talks about a guy by the name of PPP. Not the loan, but the actual person a part of Kino Casino, the bigger dude. And it gets kind of weird really quick. Here's that.
Really want a dominant mother. You could ride PPP easy? I'm sure I could. There's a lot to sit on. No. No. Oh, God. I meant like back, like his, you know, like a wide back.
We talked about it before. She talked about, oh, I got a lot of concussions whenever I was younger because I played sports. I played like contact sports. And there's actual pictures of her playing men's lacrosse. I was iDubbbbz, I'd be sick to my stomach and throwing up imagining what happened in that locker room. Yeah, 14 men all around Anisa. She's right in the middle. She's right in the middle. And there's even more, I think, in this other picture. It is just insane. It looks like they did win some games and such as well. I don't know if she was really that good. She never made a collegiate, so, I mean, she wasn't that great. She never really made it professional or to the college world, which a lot of other YouTubers have beat her at. She wants to talk about being an athlete, but, I don't know about that. And recently on Ian's stream, after just 2 months of returning to streaming, she's already quit, saying that she doesn't like doing it.
At the gym yesterday when we were lifting, Ian said, oh, so-and-so asked when you're streaming next. And I, like, looked at him, and he could tell, because we're married. And we speak telepathically, and he said, "You don't like streaming, do you?" And I was like, "No, not really." And Ian was shockingly accepting of that. I was kind of scared to tell him. I was scared to tell everybody. I'm not online very often anymore.
I'll force her to get in some of the reality TV streams every now and again, though.
I like jumping in every once in a while, but I don't know, like, I'm sure you've noticed on social media and stuff, like, I'm just not, I just don't care. Like, I'm gonna be honest, like, I love you guys, but I don't know. I have other things, like, other hobbies that are pulling me.
Yeah, obviously, she'll show up when she say.
Yeah.
And I'll force it sometimes, you know what I mean? Like, this will not be the end.
Yeah, like...
Also, if someone decides to talk
yeah.
Like, she'll stream to clap back,
yeah,
right? True. Like...
It's not like I'm never going to stream again. It's just like it being a
this
regular
thing. Schedule thing is a lot.
I just like other things better.
Stream.
Like, other thing.
Oh, I'm ending stream.
The biggest thing
okay,
is, like,
you got something.
Yeah, one last thing. I think I've just finally got to the point where, like, I'm just tired of, like, the constant, like, overanalyzation of, like, the that I say. Like, I feel like it just, you just get so bored of it. It's more rewarding to glue things together.
True.
After, for the longest time, saying that she wanted to come back to streaming, she was super excited to do so. Talking about how all the time, like, oh, I'll return soon, I'll return soon. Finally to return, and then after 2 months, give up. I don't know for what reason, maybe because it didn't do as good as she wanted to, or whatever. She can say whatever she wants, but I think that if she had a big following and a big viewing, then she probably would. But she, of course, always wanted an audience of her own, was loving streaming, and people were saying that she was more entertaining than Ian, which is kind of strange. Maybe she was getting made fun of too much, maybe she just can't really Bear actually doing any kind of work. I don't exactly know. It's just strange. And due to her quitting streaming, this segment does not have a lot of content in it and probably won't for the foreseeable future. I wonder if she'll ever return or what is truly next for her. Maybe the trades like she talked about before. I don't know. Maybe we'll have Blue Collar Ian and Anisa arc where they start making blue collar TikToks. Does Canada have like a blue collared TikTok feed? Or like, you know, community? I have no idea. Maybe they'll move back to America and just start working on the fields, the oil fields. iDubbbz's Discord. Ian has now opened applications to be a moderator for his Discord and YouTube chat. The Discord message announcing it is from Han saying at everyone big news, we're reopening moderator applications for iDubbbz's Twitch channel and or Discord server. Applicants must sign into Google so that it's one form per person. This cuts down a lot of spam and trolls. Thanks everyone. Message me with any questions. He also talks about this on stream, and here's that.
Oh, big news everyone. We're opening moderator applications for the iDubbbz Twitch channel and or Discord server. So if you're a good person with good morals and principles and you think you understand ethics, well, the door's that way. To apply, it is linked in chat. And this is important as well because this is pivoting me into another topic, not a debate topic, although it could be. I'm going to stream on YouTube on Friday. I'm doing both platforms. I'm stretching myself thin. And by stretching myself thin, I mean I'm just going to do both. It's a multi-stream. Because I know some people like YouTube and all that jazz. If I want to do something like Music Monday, I'll just do it here on Twitch alone. Well, not alone with you guys, but I'll just do it both places. You know what I mean? Except the exception. That's sort of what I was thinking about. I was like, I won't be able to do things exactly as I wanted like I can on Twitch. And that's fine. That's fine. Thank you all, Rebel. I appreciate that. Have we switched 911 permanently to Sundays? No. I think we're just going to feel it out. We might do it multiple days, to be honest. Yeah. Hands linking the moderator form again in the chat, so. But there you are. There you are. Thank you for your time on this matter, everyone. Make the applicants go through a debate tourney. I will be honest, I'm considering making the applicants go through a 3-hour session of Roblox Steal the Brain Rot. Like, it's not a competition, but they're going to have to play it with me. And, you know, I'll quiz them about the gameplay at the end, and depending on how well they answer, they may get the position. I'm a new chatter because I didn't even know you stream because I use YouTube, and a YouTube stream is much welcome. Thank you, Hero Protagonist. I appreciate that, dude. Yeah, I think it's going to be good, because I'm planning on posting more on YouTube anyway, so, like, before I was thinking, like, I want this. It's a little bit... I don't know. There's got to be a word for it. I always default to autistic, but that might be unfair. It's like I think that certain places have to, like, it has to be this way, kind of, and I'm like, that's an autistic thought. Thinking that it has to be this way, for seemingly no reason. OCD? Yeah, that could be part of it. Each applicant has to do 3 hours of Jubilee React live? Oh, I like that. Dude, they have to do a Jubilee React live, and the only person watching is me. No, even better. No one's watching. 0 viewers. And they have to hold it together while they're talking. No one.
So he says to the first-time watchers on YouTube that they should apply, and I don't think this is a good idea, as why would you want, like, new viewers, unless they're, like, from Twitch, but at the same time, why do you want new viewers that are not that, like, long into watching you to be moderator? I feel like that's kind of strange. It heavily emphasizes that it is not paid, which a lot of bigger streamers, I think, do pay their mods, and then some smaller ones, of course, don't. But, you know, it's whatever you want to think, I guess, in that regard, regarding iDubbbz, and if he should be paying his mods. Someone in the Discord server tried to say that it was a nice community, saying, oh, this community is lovely. I'm newer myself, but have thoroughly enjoyed my time. Excellent, yeah. I'm just looking for somewhere chill to hang, honestly. This is a very chill space, and very welcoming. Like, no, this place is not. This place, I've shown in the past in other segments, is like completely toxic. It is actually insanely toxic all the time. And I don't know why they would lie like this. They have been completely rude to some people that did not deserve it at all. Anisa's bulls come over. Apparently Ian now has the D&D group he was talking about come over to his house. He's invited like 1 or 2 people over previously, or more so Anisa has been. Not identifying, you know, really much about them. You know, it could be dudes that are to be the bull. You know, that's what a lot of people have been saying. And here's those clips.
I freaking woke up an hour ago, okay? I need to stretch my brain. We are going to be doing 9/11 tomorrow. Tomorrow after stream. We gotta prepare the house today because we are hosting some D&D after stream. Sorry, real life people come over my online friends, okay? But yeah, we'll be doing it tomorrow after stream. I think tomorrow's a good day. I mean, it's a weekend. A lot of people have availability on the weekend, so. I love that you call it 9/11. I don't. I said 911, right? Oh, apparently I said 9/11. Whatever. It's the same. You know, you spell it out. It's all basically the same. What's the difference? One has a couple of hyphens. Another one has a slash. Also, you said we were doing another 9/11. Really? Okay, my bad. My bad, chat. I will say though, because I'm now Canadian, they write their dates day, month, year instead of month, day, year. When you're spelling out when you're doing numbers. So technically, because you have to, you know, identify my cultural heritage of living in Canada for, you know, for as long as I have, you have to know that when I say 9/11, I couldn't possibly be meaning the date 9/11, right? Because if I meant the date 9/11, that just wouldn't work, right? We'd be talking about November the 9th. Yeah, November the 9th. Not September 11th.
Some people suspect other things. Like I said earlier, Anisa also went down to LA to visit her quote friend, and she also filmed spicy content down there like I shown earlier. One thing people are making fun of is, of course, how they have paper plates, which Felted Imp on Twitter also made fun of Anisa for having paper plates during this whole thing. And here's that clip of Anisa responding to it.
Hello. And yes, I did use paper plates, and I'm proud of it because you know what? It was a very small space. We were rolling dice. Okay? People don't want to deal with, like, hardcore plates. Nobody wanted that. You want little tiny little paper plates that are light and whatever, and you can throw around. Okay? I had people retweeting my tweet saying that I was being rude because I was serving my D&D friends on paper plates. Okay? So, I just want to say to you, I baked them a cake. They were fine.
And of course, there's the whole, like, quote, best friend thing. I don't really know what was going on here with this girl, and I, of course, I'm not in her account. I don't look or review it. So I don't know if they collaborated at all, and it's also questionable whether what happened down there in LA. Just to fly down there for this, and maybe to make it a tax write-off, she did content down in LA, that would make more sense. But with how much they don't have money, it's kind of insane to really go down there. Well, they're supposedly struggling for money. iDubbbbz health update. Ian talks about his health a little bit, and here's that.
Why are you gluten-free? Just because it just seemed like a fun fad. I just saw the people having fun being gluten-free, and I was like, maybe that's something I need to do. Maybe that'll be fun for me. Maybe I could get attention from people if I'm gluten-free. So, needless to say, I went gluten-free, and I'm just lapping up all the attention for it. No, I have celiac disease. You know, it's not. I still need to get like an official diagnosis from some sort of gastro doctor. But like, Anisa said it was because it made you poop your pants. Anisa didn't say that, okay? But it did. I will say it is related. Very loose bowels with gluten. And you know, some people they get like sleepy when they eat gluten. I can't say that is a problem I have. I'm basically good. I'm gluten. I'm good in every way except, which is why I was able to live happily for so long because I can ignore that. I can be fine without that. Like, yeah. So what? Loose stools, whatever. That's, you know, some people would consider that a benefit. I know that a lot of people struggle, right? So honestly, some people wish they were gluten intolerant. I have such bad heartburn all the time. I think it's gluten, but I love bread. Oh, interesting. I discovered recently that I get tomatoes own me pretty hard. Specifically tomatoes like a tomato sauce, like what I would get in a pasta or a pizza. Pizza's not so bad because, I don't know, unless you really sauce it up. But yeah, dude, I have to eat like multiple antacids just briefly after. I'm just like, insides are becoming my outsides.
So now he is gluten-free and talks about needing to go to the doctor about his loose bowels. So I guess he is now trying to find a doctor and such for this problem that has been an issue for a while now, which he self-admitted, and Anisa's talked about it multiple times in the past. I don't know why he lies in this clip about not pooping himself and such, which Anisa always talks about. But apparently from what I've heard, it takes forever to find simply a doctor, set up doctor's appointments and simple stuff like that in Canada, in these other places with free healthcare. Because outside of the US, you can't get a doctor visit as fast as you can here. And that's one of the negative side effects of being in one of those type of countries. Because you can't get to doctors immediately. It takes a long time. Who knows how long it's going to take for Ian to get an actual doctor and doctor's appointment. And it might be a while before we have an actual update on this, but it doesn't seem like an actual serious issue to Ian, really. And I don't think it really is that serious, but it's something that he's talked about a bit, or that has been talked about a bit in the past, and probably be brought up even more in the future. iDubbbz's childhood trauma. Ian has talked vaguely about his childhood trauma in the past, kind of the opposite of what Anisa does when it comes to stuff like this and talking about it. But Ian talked about how old women violated him whenever he was younger.
In regards to Justin Bieber, unfortunately, it goes a lot further than that. Just a couple years later, when he was 18, she apparently met him at this event and saw fit to him while hugging him, which is just disturbing and weird, obviously.
Not do that. Oh, that is so bad.
Yeah, we
hand down and everything.
I love how Anisa screamed at the top of her lungs. A couple people in chat screamed at the top of their lungs. It made me feel like I'm not woke enough because I saw and I was just like, no reaction. I don't know. Maybe you guys saw something that I didn't, or maybe I'm just conditioned to not be. Maybe I just
well, just do this in your brain. It's probably because it's never happened.
I guess I don't feel it at my core. When I put myself in the position, for sure, like I can go there. Yeah. I just think the problem is it's not that visceral. You know what I mean?
Because
it's not like
have, experiences to pull from.
Right.
But
yeah, of lacking that autonomy and like people. No, you're right.
Somebody that you respect.
Gosh, you know what? No. I do have. There've been a couple of old women.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh, man, that makes me angry.
See?
Yeah.
And because you're told that it's not,
yeah.
It's not a male thing. It's not something that you have to worry about. I think you don't pull it out as quickly. It's not really talked about in the same way.
No, you're right.
It's old women. Old women.
Yeah.
Do shit to young boys.
Yeah.
A lot. It's gross.
I guess it's just like it feels a little bit unfamiliar, and I don't know. Maybe that's, I don't know. That could be something I talk about more in therapy or something. Because that did happen. Like weirdly enough, like it almost like doesn't register in my brain all the times that I was by women growing up. Like it doesn't register as an offense or like a violation. Like maybe in some cases I was like interpreting it as just like embarrassment. I don't know. It's all very confusing. How about having family members pinch you on the cheek and kiss you because they haven't seen you in a long time? Yeah, same deal. I don't like that. I had grandparents do the butt pat. It's like, dude, not even my parents do that. Freak.
It's hard to tell if he's being genuine here with not like the story, but to me it's like his reaction and his reaction to being upset. A part of me wants to believe that this is real. I don't really know why he would lie about this type of stuff other than for sympathy, which we get to him being a liar later on. Like, this is just me from the, while editing, kind of seeing some stuff, some extra stuff that I didn't see originally. I want to know what you all think. Do you think he's lying here? Do you think he's telling the truth? And, I mean, I hope that he says more about it, but, I mean, the stuff that he's talking about does seem very irregular. I mean, like, the cheek pinch is just kind of annoying. I think that's kind of strange to do. I don't know any family that does that. I don't know any family that does a butt pat. To me, a butt pat's very strange. It's very creepy behavior. I will give him that. Like, don't get me wrong, he's not wrong about some of these behaviors being weird or whatever. It's just that I'm wondering if he's telling the truth about this stuff actually happening to him. I'll give him a bit of the benefit of the doubt, but I want to see what the people think, as they'll probably be a bit more harsher. But especially whenever more stuff comes up later of him lying about a lot simpler stuff, and he's lied a lot in the past. I don't know if it's been specifically about like family stuff though, but he's just lied about other people, like, you know, Ethan Klein. He's lied about what we'll get into later and stuff like that. So it's so hard. This is why you don't make yourself a liar or an extremist or hyperbolist, because whenever you do that, I can't even believe your own story. And to me, it's heartbreaking in a way, because it's like, man, he probably is talking about something that really happened to him, if it is real. Pause. But you know, if this actually happened to him and everyone denies it because of his past lying, like, imagine how bad he would have to feel, you know, that people aren't believing his story about something the one time he actually opens up. So it's such a weird predicament there. Other than that, his dad has been talked about before by either Anisa or himself, and how he wasn't that great of a dad. Like, he was really rough on Ian whenever he was younger. And if all this is true, I do feel bad for him. And he said he would talk about this stuff in therapy, but it is hypocritical of him to talk about these situations, as he criticized H3 for being emotional and such, saying, quote, "This is his emotional dumping ground. That's not what streaming is," which, you know, is also hypocritical whenever you consider that Anisa does this all the time on social media. So it's a complicated situation, but I do want to hear more about his childhood and his traumas from him in the future. I'm very curious about these parts of his life, as he hasn't talked about them, and these are like actual really juicy details that might explain more of his current behaviors. And there's been no therapy update, which I don't know when all he goes. I don't know how often he goes and the scheduling for it. But hopefully he'll update on that in the future soon. But he does talk about, like, oh, maybe I'll discuss this in therapy in this clip and in others as well, regarding other situations. But hopefully next time. And honestly, I do think that Ian is very, like, misused by Anisa because of the way he acts, the way he feels half the time, and stuff like that. And I'll get more into him being actually depressed and kind of admitting it in a minute. But whenever you are going through a misusive, you know, relationship, it really tears down on you in a lot of ways, mentally, in so many ways, where you don't want to be productive, where you can, you know, you just mumble sentences out, you don't have much care for anything, and, you know, you also maybe sometimes get really emotional, like how he did with H3, and of course how he hasn't uploaded and stuff like that, and doesn't edit, doesn't have much of a, like, drive for it like how he used to in the past, which was very obvious because he used to have these highly edited, highly funny, energetic videos, and now he's, you know, much, much less than that. And I think that's because of how Anisa treats him, for sure. I think that that's kind of like a possible outcome of this, because why else would he be so down the dumps all the time? But he actually does talk about how he's been depressed or in bad moods recently due to the weather that he lives in. He hates where he lives because I don't know why, but he hates the cold weather. I personally love the cold and rainy weather, but Ian hates that kind of stuff, and he says it's affected him in his moods. He came from a more sunnier area of the world, or at least in America, and I think that's why, you know, that type of weather makes him in a bad mood. Some people also do have those seasonal or weather-dependent responses mentally and emotionally. I wonder if that will affect his future at some point, or currently is affecting him, because he already talked about it a little bit. I'm wondering, maybe that's why he was more also hostile in the beginning of his move, because getting used to those type of, you know, temperatures and those type of weathers that you already don't really like, which makes me wonder why he even moved there in the first place, if he knew it was going to have such a bearing on him mentally. Ian lying for views. Ian recently talked about being religious, or at least mentioned God, and I made a whole segment on it in a video or two ago. And, you know, I talked about the cross in the background of his streams.
Look how happy they are, Ian. I love you.
People don't do things for optics, Ethan. There's more important things.
A few moments later.
Are you religious? No. Oh, you asked about the cross. No, dude. I'm a poser. The cross is literally for optics, so I get Christian viewers. It's performative. Do you have any hobbies like gardening or cooking? No.
I don't think this will work. I think that's also really pathetic and a weird move of Ian to do, being so desperate to put a cross up just to be LARPing, you know, being religious. I think it's super strange of him to do. I don't see why he would do it. And I don't believe that he's going to get really many views from it. I just don't understand, like, what average person is going through, you know, the just chatting section or whatever it may be, and finding iDubbbbz for the first time ever, or finding these other streamers that don't have high view counts. I just don't understand the Twitch world and what makes it so appealing to watch lower viewed streamers that are not really interesting at all. And if they follow you just because you have a cross in the background, if they actually watch your content or watch you over time, they're gonna unfollow because you just admitted here that you lied about it all. You're gonna probably say something towards religion in the future like how you did previously. And he's done this probably about every month now, bring it up at least once. Ian, that wants to be taken seriously, why lie? Like, you want to have value in your words and, you know, a value of yourself, but you go on and lie and just ruin your reputation more and more each day. I don't understand it. At least this time he admitted that he was lying, but still. Hopefully he finds God, him and Anisa both, because it would truly probably save their lives and relationship. But it's just, to me, insane, cringe, and a very disgusting behavior, to say the least, that I think deserves repercussions if you're just doing that for views. iDubbbbz pet health update. Ian gives an update on his dog.
There was a lot of cooperation. There wasn't a lot of intelligence in the chat, but there was a lot of cooperation, which I appreciate. That's kind of how I operate. That was so funny to watch. Oh, by the way, guys, this isn't gaming related, but I'll try to do the weave. My sweet dog Fiona, who likes playing games, unfortunately, she's out of remission and she has the lymphoma again. And yeah, so we're starting up a new round. Sorry, it sucks because it's bad news. We're starting up a new round of treatment.
It's super sad if true. This guy lies all the time though, so who really knows? If you don't know, it's a type of like blood cancer, more specifically, is what the dog has with the lymphoma, so she has to go through chemo. It was talked about recently in old streams. Not recently, but it was talked about not even that long ago, I feel. You know, how the dog has or had cancer, and now it's going to have to go through that same process again. It's very sad, and as far as I know, the dog, I don't know if it's being mistreated at all. He does praise Hassan, so it might be in the background, who knows. But, you know, it's still sad that this dog has to go through that type of situation. And it shows how bad of a person he is, to where people can't really even trust if he's telling the truth about if his dog has a blood cancer or not. Like, imagine, I truly don't know what I would do if I was in his situation and people couldn't even believe me about a dog diagnosis. But I hope the dog is okay or will get better. There are some Reddit posts talking about the other pets as well. Couches_R_dry says, exactly how many pets do these people have? Please help me keep count. I have no idea. They have one sick dog, a tank of shrimp, one big snake, maybe two lizards. Am I missing any? I think it's good to keep track of the inevitable neglect and her either killing them off or giving them away after she gets bored. If she's going to intensely watch and state CPS should be called on someone for purely hearsay, then she should have accountability and be watched for her upcoming animal neglect. I think that's a good point. I don't know how many. I think she has like 2 dogs. I think it's more than just one, but I could be wrong. And she has that whole big thing now, that whole big like thing, which I'm gonna, I think, talk about right now, actually. MikeFan19 says, animals have like 2 months max before they're dead, LMAO. And it shows that Anisa made that new enclosure saying, I added some new plants, including big hibiscus plant, to my iguana's terrarium today. Yeah, I don't know why exactly they would say this. Like, I don't know why it would be dead in 2 months. Maybe this isn't proper conditions. It's a very leafy and a very green. There's not much free space in this at all unless it gets on a branch. I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like there should be... Is there water as well? I don't know if it requires water or not, but a little place for it to swim. a little place for it to be on land and not just covered in leaves. It seems very weird. It seems like an overstimulating, to explain it best, like little terrarium here. Other than that, that's all I really have. And yeah, I don't know how many pets they truly have, but I think it's very much interesting. I wonder that, you know, it was same with the TikTok family situation, because we've had to talk about how those animals got neglected and then ended up gotten sold off or whatever, having them dying, and this is now a possible repeated thing. So it's a good thing to keep an eye on, though, for sure, because then you can possibly bring it up later, be like, hey, where's those animals at? We'll see what happens, though. Let me know what you all think in the comments. Your all's predictions and how many animals they truly have. iDubbbbz versus Sam Hyde. iDubbbbz talks about, I think, PKA and what they thought of the Sam Hyde documentary. If you don't know, Painkiller Already is a podcast that's been going on for decades now. It used to have Wings of Redemption on it, which is probably the reason why it sounds familiar. But it's Woody's gamer tag and 2-3 other guys on it. They have like guests routinely on, and that's basically about it with it. They talked about the Sam Hyde documentary whenever it first came out, and Ian is just now, you know, talking about their reaction to it. Here's that.
That's wild considering the vids you made. Well, you might not be considering like the change of content, Jensen. Like, also, like, I've heard those loser takes on things. Like, I think the only one who had a good take in that podcast was the old guy, the old dad looking character. He's kind of like Jordan Peterson, but not like less whiny, I think. Woody Gamer Tag, yeah, that guy. I remember seeing a portion of their podcast where they're talking about the Sam Hyde documentary, and their interpretation of it was all wrong. They completely ate up everything that like Sam was putting out there, which just it's not accurate. You're just looking out for me. Oh, dude, I can cover my whole body in paint, especially spray paint. They're friends with him, though? That's what I'm saying, Jensen. How are you not putting 2 and 2 together? I'm, like, linking these things. It's not a matter of it not making sense. I'm not making the argument that it doesn't make sense. It makes full sense. Ergo, free.
Now that I think about it, I think we about went a full video without Ian saying creepy, but here we are. I feel like it's just him responding to the point of the documentary being malicious, which is what a lot of people think is true, and I already talked about this in my last video. The documentary does seem malicious. It's not outright, it's not like always 100% malicious, but I think it's, you know, very clearly supposed to try to find something there, but also maybe see the behind the scenes of $1 Million Extreme or Sam Hyde and his productions. iDubbbbz versus PewDiePie. Ian randomly takes a dig at PewDiePie and the book that he made 10 years ago when brought up on stream.
Released? Oh, is this when he released his book? Really? Oh yeah, it's good old Mr. Shellberg. We love you, Shellberg. He wrote a book? Well, I mean, one of those like hide your career kind of books. I think it was probably like Brofist, how an army was created out of gaming, out of barrels. It's just like, I don't know. When you're in the height of popularity, I think it's kind of like people are like super incentivized to like check the box in every like category of product so that they're able to sell every category of product to their fans. Because they don't have, you know, I bought the PewDiePie Brofist. Now I need to buy the PewDiePie bracelet, the PewDiePie book, the PewDiePie movie, the PewDiePie YouTube Red Show. Yeah, everyone learned about Ghost Riders, true. Also, good morning, Millipen.
Like I said, this guy made a book 10 years ago, and just overall, it's a weird dig. I wonder if the book is any good, but I mean, PewDiePie has been very much a very creative person and has done a lot. He's had 1-2 mobile games, right? I think maybe more. I know he's had at least more than one game. He had the VTuber simulator. I think one where he went against barrels. And there's some other stuff as well. Of course, books, which other YouTubers have also made, which I think, if anyone, maybe PewDiePie's is probably one of the only more interesting ones, if I had to guess, if anyone had interesting ones. But, I mean, it's not bad to make these things, especially if they're, like, cool, but he's also, like, taking another dig right before the clip ends, saying, like, possibly the dude having a ghostwriter. Why being such a hater? iDubbbbz gives up on Scorched Legume. iDubbbbz talks about his VTuber character Scorched Legume, and he hasn't used it in a bit, and basically talks about it.
I wish with all my heart for the Scorched Legume to return to Snark. Listen, never say never. Never say never. The Scorched Legume is a complicated guy.
It isn't really that complicated, but I think the next segment will kind of explain what is going on with it. But I did want to talk about it really quick and show that, yeah, he's basically going to have to give up on this character. H3 takes legal action against iDubbbbz. Now, I know that there's an interesting topic at hand, but I gotta get through everything else first. During the YouTube live stream, Ian makes a H3 reference.
It's gonna be harder. It's gonna be really hard to guess this prompt. Guess the prompt. Any ideas? Any ideas? Steven Crowder? Oh, you wish. You wish. Yeah, there we go. There we go. It's the harassment podcast.
The next is a weird drama of some sort between Anisa and Ethan that really didn't go too far. It all starts with an Instagram story from Anisa saying, I just got my coochie laser hair removal done today by whatever this person is. It was so painless, I'm sad I waited so long to do it, but she's amazing. If you're in the Edmond area, I highly recommend her. Flower emoji, heart emoji. Just want to make it very clear that I do not accept discounts or shoutouts on services, especially services as intimate as laser hair removal. This person is someone I wanted to recommend to my Edmonton girls because I know it's an intimidating process and she really is the cat's pajamas. I just support women who deserve to be acknowledged for doing good work. Please go see her and say hi for me. She's the sweetest. And what ends up happening here is that during a poker live stream, because if you don't know, H3 has gone on these poker tournaments and there's a lot of other bigger creators as well at these poker tournaments. I don't know exactly who's at this one. I'm not going to read off a bunch of names. He screenshots this Instagram story from a Reddit post on the r/imisstheoldidubbbz subreddit.
Yeah, so
That's exciting. Congratulations to the Ecklers.
We're ready for either
baby
one.
number one.
Oh, everything's
got
both names ready. Yeah. So
That's exciting. Congratulations to the Ecklers.
We're ready for either
baby
one.
number one.
Oh. Got both names ready.
For whatever reason, people were basically just overreacting to this, calling him a weirdo, calling him a creep. And whenever it was brought up, Anisa reacts to it saying, I regret checking the internet before going to bed. It's basically a nothing reaction, but the XQC has a better reaction to it, and here's that.
The poster. Yo! Interesting. I mean, yeah, he's a dedicated hater. It is what it is. I mean...
He has a point. He is just being a professional hater, and he talks about her all the time, or at least a bit, and was probably planning on using it later for an Instagram story of his own, responding to them, or poking fun at them. H3 responds to this whole thing on his podcast.
Very funny coincidental thing happened here. Let me show you this story first. Because she posted this on social media. And she said, I just got my laser done by Chantel. Okay? Now, I didn't want to know that. I don't want to know what your nasty business is about lasering. And by the way, I saw her later say this wasn't even a sponsored post. She just said because she's a pervert. She wasn't even paid.
I don't think it makes her a pervert to post it, but it is gross.
I mean, what would they say about me if it was like, hey guys, I just got my butthole lasered. No, hey, I just got all my pubes lasered. I'm telling you for no reason. It doesn't benefit me at all. So I saw this, and you know me, I'm always working. Always got my ear to the tracks.
When it comes to hating on these two people.
Listen, and people go, oh, it's so...
You're not always working, I'll tell you that, but
I mean, I sent this to work chat.
Right, no, I understand. Yeah, I'm just making that distinction.
Well, I'm not working when I'm sleeping. That's the only time. But I am dreaming about work, so maybe not.
Are you? Okay.
That's sometimes where I get my best ideas. Yeah, but people go, oh, he's so obsessed. Bro, what are you talking about? I literally told you from the get, when this whole thing started, that I would never leave them alone, that I would obsessively follow. I will never, when everybody's forgotten about them and gotten over all the, I will never stop. I will never stop. And so they're like, oh, I can't believe he's sending her nasty laser update to the group chat and saying, ew, saying how nasty it is. Oh, I can't believe it. Why? During a poker tournament? Who browses their phone during a poker tournament? All of a sudden, they're like experts on poker etiquette. She
Who the
says,
hell wrote that?
I regret checking the internet before going to bed. I regret checking the internet before playing poker to learn about your nasty laser. Disgusting. Keep it to yourself, freak. It wasn't even like, again, it wasn't even sponsored. She just wanted to let us know. Nasty, bro. Casey Tron, of course, feeling real comfortable with herself after taking the fattest L, groveling for forgiveness. That girl better be careful because she's flying a little too close to the sun. You know what I mean? She did sign a non-disparagement. Right? I mean, it is funny. By the way, I'm not even mad about it. I think it's hilarious. And if they were going to catch me on my phone doing anything, I'm happy it was this. It was pretty funny.
Hooray.
Guys, let's all stream
To the Ecklers.
We're ready for either
baby
one.
number one.
Yeah.
Got both names ready. Yeah. Yep.
That's just funny.
I mean, he makes a good point. He said he wasn't going to stop, and unlike Ian and Anisa, Ethan keeps up with his word. Felted Imp also calls out Anisa as well, saying, quote, quit streaming because she's not online anymore, immediately responds to the first attention she's received in months. She supposedly isn't online, is not going to roll around in the mud or, you know, whatever iDubbbbz wants to say, and then ends up doing the same exact thing. Says that she doesn't spaz out on Twitter, but then immediately like goes to any drama that she can instead of just not responding to it. Ian also comes out saying that he was done talking about Ethan and apologizes for the false allegations. And this is where it starts to get good, but first here's that clip.
I think this is a good time for me to explain to you guys why I haven't had Scorched Legume on in a while. Scorched Legume was kind of like a way for me to like get involved in the slop. That to be honest, I don't like being. I've said kind of all I wanted to say with the content comp. That's usually my strategy. Is like, this is my opinion. Take it or leave it. I would do a follow-up video, but generally I want to move on, live my life. With having the Scorched Legume on, I've been indulging the dark side a little too much. I have my own principles, my own values, and I'm like, it allowed me to roll around in a little bit more. And there's aspects of that I like, but it's not really like, it doesn't super align with my principles. I think one of the things that sort of woke me up a little bit is like, okay, wait a minute, I need to take a step back. It's the destiny thing about Ethan and his kids. That was one of those where I was like, oh man, I think I stepped too far out with this one, where it's like, we know the reason that I showed you guys the comment about Ethan and his kids. It's because it's like he's a piece. He has bad intentions, but he's going easy on this guy. Not going easy on Denims, Frogan, Casey Tron, Noah, many others, right? And that was my reason for showing it. But I was like, after reflecting a little bit more, I'm like, ugh, I do not want to roll around this. It's not within my principles to put that online. I don't want to spread that because it's just negative and it's not true. I don't believe it. it didn't feel right. So that's why I'm like, you know, trying to take a step back from the Scorched Legume stuff and not roll around in the. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry to Ethan and Ethan's family for putting that nasty Destiny comment out there. I felt like it was an okay thing to do based on the point I was making, but it shouldn't be spread like that. It's hard, man. It's hard because all the time, and it's like, oh, how do I engage? Well, I have to be nasty back. It's tough. It's tough. From what I've seen, it seems like their podcast has slowed down with the specific harassment, publicized harassment, intentional harassment against Anisa and I. I guess what they do in their free time is up to them, but I need to move on. I need to do. I understand how hard it is to get attention online when you're not relying on kind of the easy, and the easy is like rolling around in drama.
I don't understand what he's talking about sometimes in this, because there is no way that he is that dumb to put false allegations out there for the longest time and just be like, oh, look, Destiny, you never responded to him. This was all just so you'd respond to Destiny or sue him. It's something a lot of people have been talking about, though, and it's one of the bigger criticisms regarding H3, is like, oh, well, you haven't took action, legal action against Destiny despite how much he has said. Like that one screenshot that, you know, Ian was showing very publicly and also was going along with for months, which makes me think that Ethan is trying to take that situation more seriously. And if you want to call him out about this and not responding to Destiny, then just do that. But he was openly spreading a false allegation, constantly calling him, you know, P-troll and all that other stuff. This was far more than just, oh, react to Destiny, dude, react to Destiny. This was far more than that. This is obviously malicious. It was never about Destiny. It was always about Ian trying to smear some weird, terrible allegation against Ethan Klein, and I cannot be convinced otherwise. I've seen all the clips, I've made all these videos, and I don't see at all why he's like, I don't think he ever really brought up Destiny and like, hey, he needs to respond to Destiny, dude. No, he just ran with it. This is Ian playing dumb and playing victim at the same exact time. It is so strange to me. This dude's mind is so scrambled. H3 also talks about how Ian and Anisa give other channels the ability to talk about them because of how dumb they are and how much dumb stuff they do, and here's that.
But so I'm like, what's going on? What's the move here? How is this beneficial for them in the long run? What are you doing?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And all they've achieved so far is just feeding, absolutely letting. There's channels that are feasting on them, they're making a fortune, like Kino Casino, Nicholas DiArio, us to an extent. They're spinning golden content for us, and we are feasting. We're eating
CTE.
well. You know, he doesn't have CTE.
I don't
know,
have
you've said that.
CTE.
You said that. You just say it one time, bro.
They also
say
like,
it once. That's it.
When Creator Clash 2, Creator Clash 3 were coming out, I always said, I was like, oh yeah, you should go on those shows. They want to talk to you. All your haters and stuff, they were probably iDubbbbz fans once upon a time. Go on and just be a person and talk to them. Put yourself out there, you know. So I'm not doing any conversation for the event. It's not my event, but just go and do it. But they didn't want to do that. They didn't have any energy for that. That was a waste of time. That was not the way to do it. But then they did the H3 video.
And that was a total good advice, by the way.
Yeah, that
for
was
them.
good.
If they had done
yeah,
that,
just go and be out there.
Absolutely, because everybody was talking about it. You might as well go and talk to them and address it, and maybe you can actually get more people to buy tickets also.
Right.
Which is what you're trying to do.
And they didn't have energy. But now when it's not the time, they have all the energy.
That's why they've lost everything.
Be live and
that's why they're utter failures. That's why they've lost everything. That's why they're broke. That's why they're living in the northernmost populated city on earth. You know, it's because they make serially bad, self-destructive decisions. And I think that's an Anisa special that she's kind of brought into the marriage. So anyway, she's like, the event was horrible. Everybody's scared. Everybody's terrified. And then people started looking back at her talking about the event. So shout out Kingdom. Dug up this old tweet of Anisa's from June 23, right? Having so much fun styling Hila's new collection. I feel like a ripped denim skirt goes perfectly with the She-Hulk vibe. Love the Marble Teddy Fresh collab. So, I mean, the only way to look at, like, what a lying, pathetic, phony loser.
And there was never any engagement contract or like,
Of course not.
I'll gift you and you need to post or anything like that. This was all just pure out of love. Like or so I thought. They didn't need to post.
No,
nobody ever asked them to post. If I ever gifted them anything, I was like, no pressure. You don't need to wear it. You don't need to tag.
Yeah, of course not. And so the only way to interpret this, and there's a lot of posts like this, if I'm to believe what she's saying now, is that she is like a high-level psychopathic liar that just has no problem lying to someone's face.
People are now calling out Ian and Anisa because basically this whole apology is only given because of a cease and desist that was given via H3H3. And here's that clip.
This is fantastic, you guys. Ian has issued an apology for making the silly joke that I my children. By the way, Carolyn Kwan, do you have a problem with that? That your bestie Anisa says I my children? You degenerate loser.
Had Scorched Legume on in a while.
Scorched Lagoon is his alter ego, the dragon, the $1.
Oh, I like that.
Oh,
Yes,
that's
so
funny.
not just you, everybody liked it. It was the only time people actually watched and supported his channel. It was when he did this dragon thing, because he'd get involved in the beef, he'd be silly, whatever. So all of a sudden, he stopped doing it. And by the way, Denny patrons, they're dropping. Because you spent months and months directly interfacing and shouting out a vile, disgusting, degenerate snark, and all the same people on Twitter. Now suddenly it's changed your heart. I wonder if there's another reason. I feel like a lot of people reacted to this, and it's so funny because I'm the only one that has the additional context that makes this all make sense, and I'm gonna give it to you guys after the clip. So stand back and stand by. So, like, no, you platformed it because you're a cowardly loser, right? And you thought it was cute to platform this horrific, disgusting thing. I mean, that honestly, I would never say that about like, that's something like, okay, bro, you've clearly lost it. And everybody said it at the time. Everybody talked about it. All of a sudden now he's got to change your heart. Okay. The second iDubbbbz stopped talking about us happened to coincide when I took into my service some fine Canadian lawyers. That's right. Lawyers that specialize in defamation. And by the way, I really don't think that's okay thing to put out. Some fine Canadian defamation lawyers that sent a letter to Anisa and Ian demanding a retraction and a halting of the defamatory statements that I my children. And the day after that, the Scorched Lagoon was slain like smog. There was only one skill shown, and it was the threat of a lawsuit. That's right. It's not because they're principled. It's not because he's above it. In fact, they're hurting bad. Look at him. His fallen off so hard. It's crazy how hard it's fallen off. It was literally the day he stopped talking about it, right? He doesn't talk about the snark anymore. He doesn't talk about me anymore. And they're, by the way, desperately, this is the ultimate irony, and I love this. America, love America. I wouldn't even bother threatening to sue him because in our great state, we have anti-slap laws that make it extraordinarily difficult to sue public figures for defamation. And we have this extreme appreciation for for free speech and the First Amendment. Now, let me tell you something. Ian, he hates America. He wants to get as far away as possible. He thinks this place sucks. So he moved to the northern wall and pledged to the Night Watch. But let me tell you something about Canada, the North. Defamation laws ain't quite the same up there. And when I spoke to an attorney about it and showed it to him, they're like, yeah, no, this is quite bad. This is definitely actionable here in Canada. In America, in California, you could say that. Could have said that. But in Canada...
Why do you think we do our show here?
Exactly. Exactly. You think I could do the show in Edmonton? But now that you're in Canada, I found me a Canadian lawyer who's pretty gung-ho about suing you.
That's America.
And I might just do that. And, you know, he's groveling.
Wait, but he's apologized.
Yeah, but the damage is done.
So this apology was not... Because I see people... They're taking this to mean that you threatened them, and that in response he's apologizing. No, he's
We're
just
in
doing
talks.
Oh, okay.
They're desperate to prevent litigation.
Gotcha.
And they've preemptively apologized out of pure patheticness. But, you know, in my opinion, because there's no agreement. You just want to go, oh, I'm so sorry. Please, my principles.
Don't just be sorry. Think.
Exactly. Exactly.
So it seems like the move to Canada has now been more hurtful than ever. Not only does Ian hate the weather, have no one out there to hang out with, can't even contact his friends because of the difference in time zones, but now he screwed himself out of the freedom of speech and got himself into such bad legal trouble. And this is also the response to why it is harder to sue Destiny as well, which kind of makes sense. People are saying it's cope and all this. I think Ian also tries to say it's cope, but I'm confident that Ethan will do this in the future. But he probably has to be more careful about it. He probably has to wait a bit longer, and the legal process takes forever. I mean, Denham's, Frogan, these lawsuits that Ethan is doing against these people could possibly run for a very long time. And that's another thing they're not considering is how long it takes, how good he really wants to get Destiny, you know, because the longer he waits and the more stuff that's said, the easier it is to get Destiny and the better case that he can build. Because in the situation regarding the reaction stealing, or the, you know, substitutive videos on the Hassan Orbiters, it was a lot easier because they already did this and they already admitted it and there was so much proof already. And I think Ethan is waiting for more stuff to come out. But Ethan Klein also reacts to Ian's apology, and here's that.
Maybe he's actually developing as a character. But I was the only one that knew. No, it happened one day after we sent them a cease and desist. They stopped talking about us.
Bruh.
Right? So I know why they stopped. And I know we have a really good case in Canada, and their lawyer told them that. Right? And so... essentially, that's what it is. But so Ian and Anisa reacted to my response to them, which was basically just saying that I sent them a cease and desist. I haven't sued them or anything. But here's his response, and I found it quite amusing. So I thought we would watch it.
And I think it was out of line for my own personal, I guess, goals in life and how I want to be.
Right.
And I think ultimately, even after my apology, he still doesn't seem to think that it's, I don't know, real or genuine.
Yeah. Why?
So,
Yeah, you're right, man. Why? I should take it as the way it was meant to be, just completely sincere. If he, you know, unironically, if he had issued this type of apology, I don't know, months ago, I would have thought it was sincere. But to do it right after you get a cease and desist, how can I? I'm not even being this to be snarky. I'm being how am I actually supposed to think it's sincere? If I thought it was sincere, I would you know, I would have my heart would soften. You know, I'm the first person to let a grudge go when I'm apologized. All you have to say is I'm funny, right, Dan? You know that.
He's not actually joking about that. That is true.
I'm so quick to forgive.
He's quick to anger, but quick to forgive.
To a fault.
I would say even. And I'm not even being like hyperbolic. You rolled out this Scorched Legume character for the express purpose of browsing snark.
Which is a shame that he tied that branding to this, because now he can't continue the character. And it was so funny that it's just such a shame.
You know, it is. And I mean, these are your people, right? There's like chatter of this like secret Discord of like crazy Twitter, Reddit, political snarkers, like these high-level reply guys. It's all starting to come out.
The high-level reply guy.
Well, you know, like the Jake Chinatowns and all these characters.
Yeah.
The bad empanadas, and you know, all these regular say the worst possible things, and then they're retweeted by Hassan like once or twice a month to feed the machine.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody has somehow got this entire log over the past year and a half. And I haven't seen the messages, but I have seen the name and logo for this snark community. And I mean, they wear it like a badge of honor, right? That CPS came to my house, that human skulls were sent to my house, 2 of them. And I mean, these are the groups of people you've spent the last year aligning with, right? And, you know, listen, it's hard for me to feel bad. It is. It is. Take a vow of celibacy and go to a monastery. I don't know what to tell you, bro. There's no peace to be had here. You sacrificed that peace to the altar of clout when you made that content cop about me. I don't want to be that guy, though, you know. But ultimately, when you do what you did, when you put out that video when I was live, when you encouraged and applauded the CPS visits, you justified, spent time with the community that took joy and pride in it. I mean, I have to. It's just a matter of principle, right? But you're lucky, because today I am truly sending you off like a pyre. This is almost like a funeral pyre down the river of Glendale. I don't know. That sounds Lord of the Rings. Like Gondor.
The Anduin.
A Gondorian send-off. I don't want to sue you, right? I don't want to do all. But at the end of the day, I have made a commitment, and I am the ultimate hater. I look bad, and I'm okay with that, because for me it's personal, and that's it. That's all it is, you know. And it has been since that moment. And I hope that when you guys have children, that you're never put in a position that upset you as much as that upset me. I don't wish that on anyone, right? Never. I wish it never happened to me either, but it did. And I know the people that participated in it. Maybe they didn't make the call. They participated in the community that applauded it, shouted them out, said they're great people, right? Justified it in their videos. I know who those people are. And to me, that's unacceptable. And it's personal. And I'm just following through on my promises.
I said this originally, that he played the character to try to get away with it, which I think in the end should not work and will not in court. There's no way that it could if you are any decent-minded person. And I don't trust Ian, especially because he apologizes after the fact he gets the legal notice. It's completely fake. And I am glad and hopeful that H3 keeps on with this lawsuit and holds everybody accountable. Too many people have been getting away with too much recently online, and for actually a very long time. And Ian responds to this on stream.
There was a moment in the last H3 live stream where Ethan is talking about this topic, and he said, oh, and like, to make it even better or whatever, you can't crowdfund lawsuit defense in Canada, or something like that. I don't have it perfectly memorized. But I just found it so weird that he thought that was indicative of anything. Like, I think he's gaslit himself so hard that he doesn't think I have money in the bank to be tortured by him for 3 to 5 years or whatever it is, whatever the plan is to financially torture and ruin me, I don't need to crowdfund a lawsuit, so sorry. I think that's just for you. I think that's cope. See, the thing that I did with my money is I didn't buy Rolexes. That's what I didn't do. You took the podcast joke where you and Anisa were squatting in someone's basement seriously? Well, again, I think we've talked about it a lot in this chat in general. Like, the source of joy, the source of happiness is not money. And so, like, continuing to harp on it and, you know, I don't know, promoting your brand as, you know, being the money person or how much money you can spend is not, it doesn't make you a happier, healthier person. Sorry, it's windy and rainy here in Edmonton, in the northernmost outpost, so I gotta close the window. Grizz Yankee says, can we just have a ceasefire and go back to the good old days? I've been watching y'all for 10 years now, and this kills me.
There is no way Ian looks over the laws, I feel. There is no way that he knows laws at all. He doesn't even have a lawyer. And if anything, he probably Googled a couple things, but I feel like he didn't even Google anything for the Scorched Legume character. He also shows how unknowing he is of legal trouble and how much that stuff costs. Even the biggest YouTubers with millions of views and millions of subscribers ask for crowdfunding for stuff like this when they go through it. And why is he being weirdly aggressive and smug in this clip? He has no idea the world of hurt he can be in at any point in time with just a snap of a finger. H3 can immediately end his financial stability if he has any left, which will be very much told at some point in this legal battle. Also, the money amount is questionable. He talks more about the cease and desist here.
Okay. So here's the deal, guys. We got a cease and desist. And obviously that, you know, I was being genuine in my apology because I was reflecting, and I think it was out of line for my own personal, I guess, goals in life and like how I want to be. And I think ultimately, even after my apology, he still doesn't seem to think that it's, I don't know, real or genuine. So listen, I don't watch the podcast. In fact, it gives me an aneurysm and it like distresses me greatly to watch it. So I only hear it through the grapevine. I have to, to use a little bit of a therapy term, I have to protect my peace. So I don't know what any of the details are, but I think in summary, it looks like he's interested, Ethan, in pursuing a lawsuit here in Canada. I ultimately am just like not interested in like playing that game, like not because I can't afford it, but because I just think it's a waste of time for me. It's a waste of time. Like I don't want to know a lawyer, if I'm gonna be honest. I don't want to have weekly or monthly conversations with a lawyer. It's just not. I think a lot of people can relate to that. But I am a creative person, so I do want to propose some potentially amiable, is that the right word? Whatever it means, the word that means to please others. An amiable solution. Potential amicable. No, it wasn't amicable. That's not the word I'm looking for. You guys are gaslighting me. 1 second. Define amiable. Yes, having or displaying a friendly or pleasant manner. I wasn't completely wrong, but I know you're trying to help me. Malleable? I'm trying to come up with a malleable solution. Basically, I know that there is, I'll just come right out and say it, okay? A couple other suggestions that the non-creative thinkers in the world might have not considered, okay? Number 1, trial by combat. Now, hear me out. Well, number 1, I'm being deathly serious when I say that. Deathly serious. I understand that with money comes power in this world that we live in, okay? With money comes power. I would not think to take the position away from someone who, accumulated a colossal amount of wealth, okay? If they want, for instance, if Ethan wants to find a party that will fight in his stead, sorry guys, I'm trying to use words I didn't run through a script or anything. If he has someone who's going to fight in his stead, that's fine. He can nominate a champion, okay? I am about 8 pounds away from reaching 200 pounds of raw gristle, okay? So it could literally be anyone. I mean anyone, okay? It could be, let's go down the list. It could be one of his disgusting employees. It could be him. Let's just rule that out. It could be, so many deplorable people on the internet. Yeah. It could be a lot. And I will also say, like, if the option is there, I can lose 50 pounds in 3 months. It's possible, okay? I can lose 60 or 70 pounds in 3 months. So whoever money talks, right? I'm sure he can get a boxing or an MMA expert to fight in his stead. So that's option one. That is option one. And I must say though, I'm a little poor guy. I don't have very much money, so he has to fund the operation. You know, it could just be in a backyard or whatever. It doesn't need to be like, you know, big arena or anything like that. So he'd have to fund that. It could be a pool party. Yeah, it could. Yeah, there's a lot of options. Anyway, talk amongst yourselves what you think is the best option. Additionally, there is another option, which is trial by wits. Hat tip, trial by wits. So no, we're not doing a dance battle. That's cringe. I don't think. Also, that is just an immediate victory on my behalf. Okay. Trial by wits. Basically, listen. I know over at the H3H3 podcast, there is I don't know, that the main guy fancies himself a debate lord or something, or he thinks that he could sway public perception by going on Piers Morgan. I'm gonna really show people that I got what it takes in a battle of wits. Hey, I will participate in whatever. We could debate any topic, whatever it is. I'll pick the losing side as well. I'll pick the deplorable losing side, or better yet, since a lot of people have heat for my lovely and talented wife, Anisa. She can debate something. I'll sit in the chair in the corner, okay? We could set the whole thing up while there's like an intellectual battle. It's whatever, not trial by Beyblade, we're not doing that. I think intellectual battle and combat battle. Large Crunchman says, probably used to that, right, bro? Whoa, dude, it's not as if I didn't lay that one out. Why not an honesty battle? Dude, we can't do an honesty battle. What else? So yeah, I mean, I think those are options that would satisfy some amount of, I don't know, attention. Trial by therapy? Well, if the most growth possibilities are an interesting one, that might actually be a battle I would lose. In the short period of time. I'm not talking about the growth I've had over the past 10 years, because that is colossal. Leak the Mole? Fisherman fan? Okay, people saying Leak the Mole or something about AB tapes, you guys aren't going to have any sort of effect on me, all right? No effect. I'm strong in my convictions. Extremely strong. So, I mean, hey, for everyone who's here for the drama, you basically just got all of it. I'm being extremely serious when I say those things. It's not, because I do realize a lot of this is, unfortunately, I don't think it should be content. I don't think these things should be broadcasted on the internet, especially if you're serious about it. I think the whole thing is extremely silly. So I would be fine with it not, you know, with just what do you call that? What do they call it? I don't think there's an official name for it. Financial torture. I think it's an attempt of doing a financial torture, in my opinion. I'm okay with the outcome that views go bye-bye when you aren't, you know, when you aren't involved. And I'm okay with that reality. It's, you know, it would be nice to have lots of viewers, but in that way, I'm not interested in it. So that being said, it is a little bit of a battle. It has been a battle for my brain to be like, okay, like how much do I want to like respond? Because it's, you know, obviously it's constant. And I'm like, okay, like, you know, this is like the main podcast that isn't really like stopping. So I got to figure out how to live with it. And one of the ways that was making it a little bit more palatable to me is, you know, bringing out the Scorched Legume. For those of you unaware, the Scorched Legume is a British dragon that I'm good friends with. He's a VTuber. And yeah, the Scorched Legume would come on here, parentheses me, and he would just, you know, bring up the hypocrisy of the H3 podcast and mock them for, you know, a couple hours at a time. And I don't know the exact timeline, but sometime around February, when I was doing my Scorched Legume routine, I brought up the Destiny accusation of Ethan to the stream chat, and that's not something that I ever like agreed with or endorsed or anything like that. It was for a larger message of sort of pointing out the hypocrisy, and but I showed it and I felt bad about it, so I made an apology. But a couple months after that, a couple months after that, or a month and a half after that, something like that, we got a cease and desist, basically, you know, saying, you know, don't there, and you know, there's loads of stuff, but I'm not going to get into all of the details, but that seems to be the most like relevant thing in my mind. And yeah, so now it's progressing. So apologies don't work unless he writes for you. Yeah, I mean, it was genuine. It's just like it's difficult, obviously, because my feelings on the matter are like super complicated and nuanced, right? Like, you know, I'm able to acknowledge that, like, this is a person, you know, that is trying to do a lot of harm to others, including myself, and I have been the topic of conversation on this podcast for the past year, and not saying I didn't have an effect with the content comp, but it's important to also realize where is your line as a person, you know, and my line, you know, wasn't there. Yeah, you're basically hearing that right. Larry isn't funny. You know, we'll see how it all goes, but you know, I want to, I just don't want to, you know, mess anything up, so I'm just going to, you know, see where it goes. Hey, I am creative, and I'd like to think the person with the lawsuit threat is also, or has the potential to go along with creative ideas, so we'll see what happens. After all nonsense and slop and pigs come out of it, do you regret the CC? I don't, because for me, that was the right thing to do. I still believe it was the right thing to do. the Canadian courts don't make shows. That's very different from the U.S. Yeah, that's another part of it. Is there's less like bravado in Canadian courts. So, I mean, my hope is that it's no nonsense, and it's like if you're serious about it, be serious about it. If not, like get the fuck out. Yeah, I mean, I'll probably talk about it more in the future if it is if there is, I don't know, some confusion or I don't know if we just need to clarify things or whatever. But like, my boyfriend is a lawyer. I can't wait to annoy him with his info. Yeah, I mean, like I don't like thinking of it as content, right? I don't like the idea of it at all. It's super silly. But you'd be punishing yourself if someone else is using it for content, and so they're financially annoying you, taking up your time, and all you got like that was just like a distraction for your life. Did you care about anything Lowlights? I'm always interested in his takes on things like this. Yeah. And I think it is relevant for the people who are, who do think it's like maybe essentially like a bad precedent or something like that. Like I do, I mean, I guess I encourage public dissent from, because again, like I do feel like this sort of thing can happen to a lot of creators, including people in the commentary sphere, and I just don't think it looks good for the future of free speech on YouTube in that way. So yeah, it's gross, whole thing. I don't like it. Yeah.
You cannot blame H3 or anyone for not trusting you or your word. And he's talking trash about the people he doesn't even do research on. No wonder he thinks the way that he does. Thinking is a waste of time is such a cope response. He talks about like, oh, Ethan is coping in all these other ways, but it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. There is so many, like, the clips just make it worse and worse. And I think most, if not every single YouTuber, even huge YouTubers that have money, don't want to deal with a lawsuit. They don't like dealing with legal trouble. They try to stay away from it. It's nothing fun. Ethan Klein said he doesn't have fun with it, but I think he might actually kind of enjoy it in some ways, and especially if he can make change on the internet. But it's just insane to me that, like, he's doing all these cope responses, and he acts like he has a choice in being sued or not. And that's something Ethan Klein talks about. Ian resorts back to talking about violence, and towards Ethan Klein this time. That is kind of insane to me and would look terrible in a court of law. He's also 0-2 against YouTubers in boxing. So he was never a threat to, and also he was never a threat to any of them at any time. I don't get where he thinks he's a scary or powerful person that can beat anyone up. And here's the thing. No fighter moving up to, especially because of like the weight that Ian was at, him moving up to heavyweight, he's going to get bad CTE. If he goes and fights a heavyweight, it's going to end badly. He could go fight one of those big blobs that usually just fight Muay Thai. He would lose badly, and he would probably be very much concussed, be very much injured. This is why you don't see lighter weight fighters go up multiple weight classes. This is the equivalent of probably more of a welterweight, if I had to guess, or even a middleweight moving up immediately to heavyweight. And we could already tell that Ian, with his body type as he's shown in his fights, he doesn't have the physique. He doesn't have the frame for a heavyweight build. He's already proven this, and with how lazy and the lack of work ethic, he's probably not going to look that great, and he's just going to get absolutely rocked. He's not going to have extra power like he thinks. He's not going to have these extra abilities and everything else like he thinks as well. And he never cut weight either. So I feel like, fighters really shouldn't be cutting as much weight as they do sometimes, but Ian really is not a fighter. He never had to deal with cutting weight. He never had to deal with a bad weight cut. You are nothing compared to what some people do for an actual living. And he admits in this clip that he is poor. So what is it? Like, are you poor or do you have money for it? What is it? And the other option that he has here is a debate. And it's so crazy to me that this guy is being threatened with a lawsuit because you falsely accuse someone of doing terrible actions to their own children. And now you're talking about wanting to commit violence towards them or debate them as a like ways of getting out of being sued. What is going on? This is why people say it's a humiliation ritual. This is why people say that he's a cuck. It's because of stuff that he does like this. It's because of how weirdly terrible he speaks sometimes. Genuinely he needs to be sued as soon as possible. Also, Ian hasn't debated anyone yet. He's been doing that segment debating his viewers, where he ended up losing, by the way. And he wants to go against H3H3, which is one of the people that has debated people like Piers Morgan and all these other bigger platforms and people. He actually, you know, of course, also had a debate with Hassan. Ian's videos are terribly written and full of flaws. And his, like, own live streams are terrible. They're lacking of good views and, like, any good points. I don't see where he thinks he could win a debate. And he also mentioned being a cuck in that clip. There's a difference between content and false allegations. You know what I mean? He tries to say all this stuff about it being content or whatever, but he crossed the line by a very big amount. Like I've talked about in the past, he's projecting about being a creep. He's been a creep in the past. He also admitted in one of these clips that Scorched Legume was him. So there is no just, quote, oh, I'm playing a character, guys, or anything of the sort around this. So it kind of like any type of argument he could have had in court completely failed. And I'm not sure when the cease and desist was sent, but it seems like it was not that long ago. Possibly weeks or months after the original Scorched Legume live stream that I made a video on where he had the whole screenshot from Destiny saying, oh, by the way, Ethan does this to his kids. I think that's like probably around the time where like after that event is probably when he sent that. He also played victim here again, saying that he was a victim of harm from the podcast and still does not regret the content copy and now has to die down about talking about Ethan Klein and the situation. Why is he a free speech advocate only when it comes to himself being in danger? Whenever it's not him, he wants to commit violence towards these people and make false accusations towards them. But whenever he is in a situation where he is in danger, he suddenly wants to be a free speech advocate. Or be, oh, it's just a character, it's just art, guys. It's just me being creative. The big word, creative word, he's been trying to say. H3 then responds basically saying he's going to take action, and here's that clip.
Just, like, not interested in, like, playing that game?
Yeah, that's funny. Of course you're not. He's like, I don't want to get sued, so I'm not going to. But that's not how it works, of course. And I don't want to sue you, right? I don't want to do it. But at the end of the day, I have made a commitment. And I am the ultimate hater. And that's not even an opinion.
On top of this, Ian and Anisa refused a settlement, apparently, said by H3 himself, and here's that.
What is his point here is so funny. Like, it's up to him if he gets sued or not.
Yeah. Well, no, I guess I sort of follow. He's just saying he doesn't, in so many words, he's saying he doesn't want the smoke.
I'll say this.
Like, he just doesn't want to deal with, like, understandable.
I sent them a very reasonable offer to settle that they refused.
I see.
So if you wanted to avoid being sued, you should probably have taken that and not whatever this is.
It's kind of insane. The one opportunity they had to get away from this terribly expensive legal action that they're going to lose, whether it's via time or just via the actual legal battle, he had the opportunity to take the easy way out and refused it. Ian also talks a little more about the apology tour, and here's that clip.
Like how Ian was the N-word guy? Yeah, exactly. It's not okay, and this is just like proving the amount of people came out when I like acknowledged it and apologized for it. The amount of people coming out saying, "Oh, it's no big deal, man. Dude, you didn't murder anyone. What the?" Yeah, but that sort of behavior leads to creatures like this. Like, it's only gotten worse. Legitimately, when I was, spewing the rhetoric that I was spewing, I was the least capable of actually backing any it up with my hands. And yeah, there's a reason. They're all scared. They're all scared little, and that's why they do and say what they say. They're insecure.
This dude is not going to make it long without being sued if he isn't being sued already. Ethan also gives an update on his lawsuits against Frogan and iDubbbz, as well as the Reddit and Discord, the snarkers, or the people that were being malicious towards him, and here's that.
Big lawsuit updates! I don't remember if I mentioned this on Friday. I don't believe I did. The snarkers were attempting to file a motion to quash on our subpoena to Reddit and Discord for their identities so that we could sue them, serve them even. And we've gotten to this really outrageous legal battle, in my opinion, where they filed like thousands and thousands of pages of stuff trying to make me look bad and whatever, yada, yada. Anyway, we won.
That didn't work?
It didn't work.
Oh.
We won, and the judge actually, in her ruling, was rather scathing, if I may say so myself, because the mods, they were pursuing not just a quash on the subpoena, but also a protective order. So they said, like, we are so scared for our lives and our well-being that Ethan should never be able to utter our names because we're afraid for our lives. We can't sleep. We can't work. We're afraid for our reputation. Our families are going to hate us. And of course, we're all thinking like, well, if what you said is so bad that your friends and family will never look at you the same again, kind of a self-report, right? Mm-hmm. But listen, I emphasized then, and I reemphasize that, even basking in victory, that I was never my intention to dox anyone, nor do I intend for anybody to do that. It's simply just to get an identity so that I can serve them lawsuit papers for stealing my beloved intellectual property. I slaved away on that video. I worked so hard on that video. It's mine, and you took it. So anyway, the judge basically denied their protective order and their quash, and also said something that's actually going to be pretty devastating for Denham's case. She said she didn't make a fair use distinction, but what she did say is that she believes that Denham's watch party was more of a hate watching party, and with the intended purpose of trying to deprive us of monetary and rightful gains. So essentially,
how would the judge come to that conclusion?
She watched it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's because it's what Denham said it was.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, got it. Right.
Yeah, she watched it. Yeah, she just looked at it.
Yeah.
And
that, that was a wild thing.
So one of the and I can't get over the fact that again, Denham's refers to her stream as a watch party, and in my first legal victory against Matt Haas, the judge, in her opinion, explicitly states that she does not believe that watch parties are fair use.
Right.
And then Denham's went and said, I'm doing a watch party. It's almost like poetic how it all ties together. My first legal case, which is, precedent, is now informing my second one. Explicitly. Pretty interesting. But yeah, no, this is really bad for Denham's because one of the main factors of fair use is essentially market replacement, right? And this judge, who's in the same district as Denham's judge, and they do not like going against each other, Dan.
Oh.
They don't.
Let's go.
Has said that she believes that Denham's was acting in bad faith and
ouch,
doing a market replacement. So not good. It's not good, not looking good. But they're probably going to, the snarkers are probably going to, what's it called? Appeal. Yeah.
Sure.
So we'll see about that. But anyway, that was great. Honestly, it was really a relief. I mean, obviously, we always thought we were going to win. Their filing response was just like, in my opinion, extremely pathetic and bad. Legally bad, morally bad. But anyway, yeah, so we did win. And so, it was really nice to learn finally. This stuff takes forever. Probably have an update on the Frogan one. People have been wondering what's like that one's been MIA. We'll probably have an update soon. And then Denims. I mean, she's fighting it, right? So she filed a motion to dismiss on the pleadings, which in my opinion has close to 0% chance to succeed. We responded just last week. I encourage you guys to read it because it is absolutely devastating rebuke of Denims. But I will say her lawyers probably got at least $50,000 for that filing that has pretty much 0% chance of success. So we wish her well. We do. And these are the same lawyers that represented Caseytron, who, by the way, led her dry. So, love the representation you've got there, Denims, and we're having fun, aren't we, folks? Honestly, I would read you some excerpts from the filing, but go watch a LawTuber do it.
It is so strange that hated YouTuber Ethan Klein ended up getting a resurgence after, you know, iDubbbbz, of all people, did him dirty. How do you all think this ends? Let me know what you all think in the comments. I need to do some more polls soon on my channel. I've been talking about this for a minute. I have like one I want to make regarding Josh, one regarding this and other people. And, you know, I need to be a little bit more active on the community tab whenever I'm, you know, taking more space in between videos, like 5 days or whatever, because I did that a little bit more recently. I'm trying to be a bit more active. I have a few video ideas, so I'm trying to get these videos out. And I think next is going to be the update on the TikTok family, since it'll be like over a month since the last one. But yeah, it's just, I'll do some polls on all this stuff soon, but I want to know what you all think. How do you all think this legal battle ends?
People forget. But when this whole thing started, when CPS came to my house, came on the show the same day, and I told everybody, the rules of engagement have changed. The line is moved. The barriers are gone. And that was a year ago. It's taken me time, right, for all my plans to culminate and stuff. But I meant that. These people went after my children. And maybe you didn't make the call, Ian, but you love the people that did. You hang out in the community with the CPS skull.
Well, he had no problem saying, like, maybe it was needed. I don't know. Your fans seemed worried when nobody was worried, and he shows comments, caca house.
Doo-doo house.
Clearly, they're joking.
Yeah, Klein poo-poo house. So, this is and has always been about my children. You forgot because it's been so long, right? You think it's like a silly game for content or something. It's not for me. I haven't forgotten. You think I forgot the CPS came to my house and interviewed my children? I have not forgotten. But I have remembered everybody who participated in that. And just like I promised, right? Just like I promised then. I'm literally just following through in my promises that I made back then. That's all I'm doing.
You also been sued by that Zionist? I have not, thankfully, but I have a feeling that is because I'm a man. Most likely. So, needless to say, our employees are going to be eating
Actually,
well.
because we use the same lawyer, so he can't use that lawyer against us.
But it's also because I'm a man.
Community questions, comments, and concerns. If you've been around and you watch my videos, or at least one of the series, then you know that community questions, comments, and concerns is a segment that's been brought up for a long time now. I basically talk about the exact title of this segment, community questions, comments, and concerns, basically putting their input into the video a bit more, and towards the end. Comic-Princesca says, do y'all think they won't divorce each other out of spite and also due to fear of being exposed for some crazy stuff? Common-Nail8331 says, they have to stay together. Who else would date either of them? Which is very much true. I think this is a big, very much truthful thing here where no one's going to date either of these guys. I don't think, I mean, people would date Anisa, but I mean, Ian would also probably be dated again, but mainly just to be used once again. But Anisa, I feel like she wouldn't really last long in most relationships. She has to be the man, and she has to, like, basically misuse the person and have so much control over them. And she's also really annoying, and, you know, I think the only thing you really get out of it is coochie, and someone that isn't completely, you know, hideous, which I don't think she's hideous. I said that before the tattoos and everything, like, it's a hear me out. She's a hear me out. I've talked about it already, and all people were saying I was like, nah, I was like kind of crazy for it. They're like, no, I don't see what you're talking about. I should have done a poll on that as well, but I never ended up doing that. But Micah Fan 19 says, I think the relationship is being held together by a mutual fear of the internet. They need us. Sergeant-Hugo-Stiglitz says, the way she came up with the allegations against Mike, the boxing coach, live in Ian's chat, you know she will flip on him the instant it becomes viable for her, quote, online career. Nancy Byers Harrington says, I'm still shocked how they simply pretend that never happened. Very much true, but also Sergeant Hugo has a point here where I've talked about this, where if Anisa or if Ian leaves Anisa or they split at any point, they are going to be in such, like, it's going to be a super fun time on the internet for everyone else but them. Because Ian is going to make a video on this or make multiple tweets, a response of some sort, and Anisa is going to expose him for everything wrong he's ever done in that relationship. Because she already had all those messages on Discord, which got me blocked by her on Twitter whenever asking about all the Discord messages about how Ian was not a good boyfriend. Which also, at this point, I wonder what he was doing so wrong to make him seem like a bad boyfriend in her eyes, but still, I guess that's a conversation for another time. Recursive Eclipse says, they're so codependent. The only way they divorce is if they are forced to get off the internet and stop craving attention at all times. A poly/trans arc is more likely before they divorce. Which, Micah Fan says, Ian being trans is what nightmares are made of. But, like, dude, that is such an insane statement. I think poly, I don't think trans era. He did have a mullet, though, so that is kind of gay. Especially the one that he had. I don't know why, but he also follows all, like, the performative YouTuber or, like, you know, those type of people. He follows all the performative trends. The mullets, you know, whenever that was a thing. And it's also still kind of a thing. And also, like, the mustache and all this other stuff. Like, he follows a lot of these performative things. The poly era is more likely than the trans era. That would be actually insane. That's such a crazy thing to say. Anyway, to go on, lazy_significance340 says, Ian really is modern day Marcus Aurelius for enduring the unending humiliation ritual. And it's a, like, whole little chart here saying Cancer Crew, where are they now? Showing Joji is very successful with his music, getting multiple plaques. Showing how, you know, Max and Chad have cold ones now. And, you know, they're being successful, and how Ian is the only one here to actually fail from this Cancer Crew group, which is probably a future video that I would do, is like, you know, like, where's the Cancer Crew now? And I think, honestly, Leafy has had a better reputation because Leafy got banned for basically no reason off of YouTube because he criticized Pokimane and made fun of her a little bit, which is kind of crazy that Pokimane had that much power at one point, and probably still does. Makes you wonder what's going on, who's getting noggin, what's going on under the desks of some of these people at YouTube headquarters. But yeah, it's kind of insane that he is the only person to fail from this group whenever everyone else, like, basically, I'm not saying that Joji exactly failed, but, you know, Joji went from Filthy Frank to completely switching up and doing only music. At this point, I think anything for views was not doing cold ones and was barely online in general. And Max Mofo was doing his, like, Pokemon card opening channel or whatever, which I never watched. And I know that he got views, so I can't say no one watched it, but he's also just lazy and will never upload a main channel video again in his life. So, I mean, that's always fun. Congrats on hiding complete relics and really appreciate things of time over laziness. Environmental Sky 9045 says, I found the perfect chair for Ian's corner. Of course, it has the little cup, it's foldable so you can bring it around everywhere. And it says stoic. It's stoic and it's nice and bright, so, you know, the bull has to notice it, and maybe Anisa sees out of the corner of her eye the chair and looks over, forgetting that Ian's sitting there. I mean, it does look like a good chair for Ian. I think it's very much usable, although it's not going to be as comfy as, you know, those hotel chairs. It's more movable, It's very much portable. You can bring it out into the woods if, you know, she dressed up as a squirrel one time. Maybe she wants to go do some outside sex. I don't know. We'll just have to see. Square Nerve 1985 says, "What a horrible life. I know it's beating a dead horse at this point, but as someone who lived in Alberta as a teenager, Ian must be having the worst time, considering he was from sunny California with a very large urban population plus things to actually do / places to commute to, and now has moved to the cold wasteland that is northern Alberta, the lifeless industrial architecture of Edmonton, and just the depressing endless prairies of nothing of substance in sight to possibly advance his quote career or personal happiness. Seriously, imagine living with Anisa in the middle of nowhere with nothing to do, nowhere to drive, just on the internet all day ignoring your hygiene while reading through the thousands of hate comments while your wife bleeds your savings from your life work on the new disgusting animals and shiny commodities. At the end of the day, he did this to himself, and the fallout is somewhat satisfying, but I can't watch this shell of a man chug along anymore. Good luck, Ian. I hope you don't yourself." Dude, this is probably one of the top, like, times ever of the community questions, comments, and concerns segment for Ian, because there's been some very much bangers. And it's true. I mean, the whole move to Edmonton was just for Anisa to be closer to her family, supposedly, and maybe possibly for free healthcare as well, because they don't want to pay for health insurance down here. And I mean, like, don't get me wrong, health insurance sucks from a lot of people's point of views, because you can be thousands of dollars in debt even after having a deductible. But the deductible being thousands of dollars and it not really making sense. You know, it sucks, but still. He really went from, you know, Washington and being able to be more around easier in America, closer to California, also living there. He moved like a time or two, I'm guessing now. I don't know where he actually originated. This guy says California. And if that's true, he went from really a place of high population and a lot of stuff to do, like this guy said, to basically nothing much in Seattle, Washington, to even less in Alberta, where he hates the weather, by the way, so he's depressed about it. Balenciaga BO1 says, "The tracks he plays are nothing but virtual signaling, pandered to try to be accepted into a community. He probably convinces himself that this is his music taste and has nothing to do with needing to be accepted by the people he wants to be. I'm alleging that Ian wasn't ever going to listen to Kneecap if not for chances of being included in the ring of people that don't give a frick about him. That being said, I know the feeling when I was 13. The music he does is performative, the way he dresses, acts, and, you know, the way he, like, styles himself is also performative. And this only has proven more, but it's also, like, people were saying that he also has Music Mondays, to be fair. And I think that sometimes the community, I don't know if this is like a community playlist that randomly plays in the background, or if it's also his own. I think in the beginning, at least, it was his own. And maybe he started adding in viewer suggestions or whatever it may be. But yeah, it's pretty rough. I Am No There Nope says, "His music taste makes me viscerally angry as someone who has spent years involved with online music communities. I met that type so many times, always the same, always purely performative. Pred X Voodoo," this guy again with this name. I don't like that combo of Pred and Voodoo, but his music taste is what Anisa, or Anus, deems as okay, which is also probably true. And it's just like, he tried to listen to some more like popular or not performative music, and then it was like they were Zionist or something. And sometimes I think that living that type of way makes you absolutely miserable, because I gotta boycott Coca-Cola products. You might as well just drink water then. I gotta boycott this and that because they support, then you might as well just eat grass. I don't know, like literally make a garden and only eat out of it. I don't know what to tell you, because at some point it's just basically everything. And those type of lives are miserable to live. Dom Scribe says, "Do you think they're worried about the left grifting not working? It's been a year since H3 Content Cop, and it really feels like the Chahomas blew their load with those 2 videos. It didn't garner them Hassan's viewer base, which I feel like they thought it would. I don't think it's coincidental that they decide to focus on streaming just after hitching their wagon to Hassan. Also, unlike Hassan, they have really been able to become close enough with any other political streamer or YouTuber that's willing to defend or boost them, so their metrics aren't getting any better, and they're just becoming 2 more lolcows that people watch to troll. Do you think they're panicking that their left grifting isn't working and that they can't go back? I think that this is possible. I think that, of course, like, I think that they thought the content cop did do well, but mainly because of how controversial it was, and using the content cop name, which is what everyone, like the casual viewer of both YouTube and iDubbbbz and, you know, whatever will want to watch. The video was also very controversial and stuff like that, which garnered it more views. And of course that video is going to do good. It was kind of expected to. If it didn't do good, then it would really show more of how bad in the dumps iDubbbbz is. But also, he's been more in the left grift for a long time now, even before that. But only, like, made himself a Hassan person, I think, after that content cop, with the collaboration with Hassan. And I think that they can't go back. I think that if they try to, it's not going to work. They're going to be more made fun of, which would be kind of funny. It'd be funny to see how the internet would react to them going from the far left to either more center or more right-leaning to completely right. Because that community's not going to accept them. Some souls will, of course, but overall, no. I think they're going to be made fun of either way. It's kind of like those extremists or those really bad people on the right side that just get made fun of by the right as well. They're like, oh, you're not one of us. It's basically what would happen to them. And I think that they are kind of panicking that this whole move that they decided to make for whatever reason that was completely useless and more hurtful to their career, in the end will kill it. Next is by Quandre, saying, Ian and Anisa's marriage won't survive a lawsuit. I don't think Ethan will actually follow through with the lawsuit since Ian backtracked after the cease and desist, but if he does, I see no way of their marriage surviving. They are already scraping the proverbial financial bottom. There's no money to credibly fight a lawsuit, especially not since Ethan will spare no expenses and hire the best lawyer money can buy. It also seems if crowdfunding for legal battles in Canada is not allowed, or at least complicated, not that they'd have enough fans to support them for this anyway, which is a very good point. It's also a given that they were already living above their means due to Anisa's pathological need to live lavishly and have dumb hobbies. She will never tolerate the kind of financial and emotional stress a lawsuit like this brings. And that's also kind of true. She folds under pressure and has freakouts and all this other stuff over simple online dramas or people saying the simplest things towards her. So something like this would probably, send her to overdrive. A prospective divorce has already been discussed at length, mainly due to Anisa's tendency to monkey branch. But this is a new level of risk. At least up to now, they've been chugging along in Edmonton, and whatever few pennies Ian has been able to scrape together from his streams, he has spent to... At least up to now, they've been chugging along in Edmonton, and whatever few pennies Ian has been able to scrape together from his streams has been whatever Anisa's current borderline personality disorder project is. But now there will be nothing of that. Whatever little reason Anisa had to remain will be gone, and she might as well divorce and take half of whatever is left. She's not the one who's going to get sued after all, which is also true. It was Ian that boosted Destiny's comment, and he's the one on the hook here, not her. I don't even think the spite of proving the haters wrong will be enough to stave a breakup. And he is 100% right here. I think even like Anisa kind of struggled to say P-Troll, you know, like the full name, and just call him P-Troll in general, while, you know, Ian was the person to say it a lot more often. I think that that's one thing that I kind of noticed whenever looking back now. I think it's because she knew of the complications that came with it. But also on her streams, she wasn't, you know, doing what iDubbbbz did, which is absolutely insane and definitely deserves a lawsuit against them. And this is coming from a guy that thinks, like, the lawsuit culture is crazy, but Ethan Klein has a good point here. If this lawsuit goes ahead, I think something will eventually snap. Might not be immediate, but something will happen in months of this lawsuit being reality. The stress of this will either cause a borderline personality disorder meltdown or a major scale fight. And then I suspect Anisa will break up with Ian, and then he will be kicked out of the house. He won't have the balls to demand to stay. I think that's also true. I don't know whose name it's in, but also, he doesn't want to stay in Canada. He'll just go back to Washington or go back to the States and hang with his actual friends, or maybe even move to Australia, if anything, to stay with Max and Chad for a little bit if they still have a friendship. This is my prediction. I don't know what will happen after this, since it will be contingent on whatever Ian's next move is. I suspect he will move back in with his parents in Cali, but I don't know. He'd either move back in with his parents or, I don't know, maybe something else. It's very, thought-provoking, I guess. What would be next after it? And you all can let me know what you all think would be next in the comments. My post hit different says, clever name by the way, how has Ian not hired a brand manager to reverse his and his wife's image by now? Which I think he means like one of those like PR managers or like a PR team, or there's like a certain like title for it. I think that's past PR. But dude, all I'm saying is, if I woke up day after day to stream to a tiny niche audience of gay autistic Hassan fans, I'd be at least trying to figure out how to get more rounded and moderate people back. I know Ian metaphorically bends over for his wife and she glazes that audience, but my goodness, there's got to be some part of him left in there that hates this. Wake up, Ian, it's time to be awake. And at this point, they don't, one, because of financial struggles, two, they have too much of an ego to get a PR manager. It also mean that their posts, their live streams, their tweets would all be like monitored by this person, and if they were told to take it down, then they would have an outrage and fire them immediately. On the punt says, iDubbbbz needs to come out guns blazing here. The undertone of Ian's coverage of other creators being sued by Ethan Klein is that Ethan is unfairly picking on small creators with small audiences who are financially constrained. Now that Ethan has sued Ian, it is time for Ian to step up to the plate and bring it to Ethan Klein. As a YouTuber with 7 million subscribers, less than that, and someone who is supposedly so rich that he and his wife, quote, never have to work another day in their life, Ian needs to stand up for the Hassan orbiters and duke it out in court with Ethan Klein. I would come out guns blazing. Next Twitch stream should start off with him as his VTuber character with the Destiny tweet in the background. He should retract his apology and spend the rest of his stream on the H3 Snark or something. Which is a clever joke. I'm very much certain that this is, much being a joke towards like how they say, they have money and everything, when in reality they don't. Tony Abstract says, are the Creator Clash scams a class action lawsuit? I know there's a very low chance of any of you being lawyers, but I just thought of this and found it interesting. He's gotten a cease and desist for defamation. I'm sure Ethan would win that case with the proof he has. Well, there's also proof and testimonies of fighters and organizers about how they were all scammed one way or another by the Jehomas. Viewers did spend their real money donating to this and didn't fully receive what was promised, while Anisa and Ian pocketed the funds. No class action? Which, I don't remember if I ever talked about possible legal action like this being took against them. I probably did, but they make a good point, and people need to come together very soon before the statute of limitations drops, which I don't know how long it'd be for a scam like this. The last one of the day is by Filthy Island Devil, saying, I do not watch the content or follow drama. Sometimes she look a little goonable, like if I was 6 beers deep. However, I realize that is probably how it started for Ye Old Ian. Need some time to reflect. I wonder who Ian would have ended up with. There was no other like prospects, I don't think, relationship wise. So I wonder what would happen if he didn't go for Anisa and went for someone else. He wouldn't be alone. He'd probably be married at this point, actually have like a kid, at least one, or not have one, but still he'd be married for sure and be probably a little bit better off. Maybe a little bit chiller, yeah, but not so extremist. But yeah, how many shots, how many beers deep do you have to be for Anisa, I guess, is now the updated question. Instead of it being like a hear me out or would you, it's now how many beers would it take? End. That is all I got for today. That's the end of the video. And yeah, this one's probably gonna be pretty long. I feel like I haven't made a long video in a minute, and my last really long video was on iDubbbbz, oddly enough. The next video should be an update on the creepy TikTok family. Then after that, I'm going to be talking about some more situations that have been happening recently. I'm trying to get these videos out pretty consistently every 2 or 3 days, so watch out for that. If you like videos like these or like this video, make sure to like and subscribe, as I do videos on lolcows, internet dramas, and more. I have multiple ongoing series in the playlist section of my channel that you can go check out that talk about, some really strange people online. And there's more people, more newer people you can also that I'll be talking about in the future. people have left recommendations and such that I have on a list. But I know that right now I want to specifically go and attempt to talk about some more some more currently going on topics, which you all could probably guess. I have another couple of updates on people that aren't monthly updates, but just people I update on in general that I want to talk about. And yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Let me know what you all think about this situation in the comments down below. I asked you all to answer plenty of questions, like how many beers deep, what do you all think ends up like happening in a legal like battle? And I'm very curious about that. It's very interesting to me as well that Ethan Klein was just like, yeah, let's look up a Canadian lawyer and just see what happens. And he fell under pressure immediately. Immediately apologized and then also tries to take it back and be smug. This guy's going to get sued. I hope it really does happen. It really desperately needs to happen so the internet cannot be getting away with such terrible false accusations while also being a creep himself. And honestly, I would call him straight up a pred, but I can't be like him. I have to be better than him, you know? Because a part of me always thinks like, oh, well, if I just throw a false allegation out there, be more extreme with the allegation, which has also just been obviously proven true over time, but I just can't be like that. Yeah, thank you all for watching this far, as that helps me out the most. If you've been watching this far, like, I'm very much impressed. And thank you very much. It really does help out a lot to watch the video all the way through. Make sure you use YouTube's mobile-only hype feature if you haven't already. As well in this video, expect more updates on people in the future, creepy TikTok family, and then some videos that are out of the loop, and then a couple update videos. Like I said, I'm going to try to get a lot out in the months. I'm going to try to upload a bit more. We'll see what happens. And yeah, follow my Twitter. It's linked in the description below. In the end, I'm PERK30, and keep God close. Please. Or you'll end up like Ian. And also pray for me, of course.
I've also been sued by that Zionist piece. I have not, thankfully, but I have a feeling that is because I'm a man.